meeting, May 11th, 2026. It is 5 o'clock. And we're going to go down to line item 2, the invocation. Belinda, would you read us?
Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this beautiful day. And Lord, we just thank you for this, that we can gather together, Lord, to take care of the business that we were elected to. We ask your blessings upon those that need our prayers tonight. We ask for safe travels for our visitors, Lord. And we ask, Lord, please send us a rain. Forgive me where I failed thee, for all these things we ask in your sweet name. Amen.
Amen. Everybody will join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Normally we have the pledge up here, so if you don't know it, we're just going to guess our way through it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I lost my chair back here.
All right, next on the agenda is roll call. Belinda Page is here, Renee Spikes, Ruthie Elkins, Claire Clark, and yours truly. Who am I missing?
Me.
You're not here yet.
Claire?
Yeah, I got Claire. All right. Next on the agenda is the minutes for April 6, 2026 regular meeting. And we got these minutes in email earlier last week. Board members have had a chance to go over them. So if you have any questions, any discussion, corrections, changes, do I hear any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve the board minutes?
Make a motion, we approve minutes.
I have a motion from Belinda. Do I have a second?
I'll second
I have a second from Claire. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is line item 6, public comment, open forum. If anybody at this time has something that they want to address the board with, they may do so. We will not make a determination. We will just listen, and we might ask a question or two, but that's it. Does anybody have anything for the board? Okay, then we will move on. Now we're going to change up a little bit because our agenda is so packed, and we want to help people get along on the road before it's dark and starts raining or something. So I'm going to move down to line item 8, appointment of new board of director members for a 3-year term, 2026 to 2029. And we're going to start first with Claire Clark, statement of officer, certificate of election, oath of office. And Mary Ellen Coates is going to be officiating this.
I'll go ahead and give you yours so you can have to read right after, okay? For your statement of officer.
I, Claire Clark,
I, Claire Clark,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I have
or affirm that I have
not directly or indirectly paid,
not directly or indirectly paid,
offered, promised to pay,
offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, or promised to contribute
or promised to contribute
any money or things
any money or thing
of value,
of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment for giving
or employment given
or withholding
or withholding
of a vote at
of the vote
the election at which
at the election at which
I was elected,
I was elected,
or as a reward
or as a reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the seat may be,
whichever the case may be,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Okay, and this is for the position in which you're elected Board of Trustees for a 3-year term, 2026 to 2029.
And I'll just need your autograph right here. Yeah, right there. And I'm gonna go on to Edmund Scott. Thank you, Edmund. I, Edmund Scott Lucas,
I, Edmund Scott Lucas,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered, promised to pay, contributed,
offered, promised to pay, contributed,
or promised to contribute any money or thing of value,
or promised to contribute any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office or employment
or promised any public office or employment
for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election of which,
for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election
in which I was elected, or as a reward,
at which I was elected or as a reward
to secure my appointment or confirmation,
as a reward, secure my appointment or confirmation,
whichever the cease may be, so help me God.
whichever the case may be, so help me God.
So this position is for elected Board of Trustees for a 3-year term, 2026, 2029. If I can get your autograph right there. Thank you, sir. And I have here the certificate of election, the authority responsible for having the official ballot prepared. I hereby certify the following candidates are unopposed for election to office for the election scheduled to this, that was supposed to be held on May 2nd of 2026. So the two listed names is Edmund Scott Lucas and Claire Clark. They'll be taking the board member for 2026, 2029. I have here for them the state of Texas that I have already signed and notarized. And then I just have one more last one. And this is the oath of office, and we're gonna do this together, okay? And you guys can just sign that. It is in the name of the authority of the state of Texas, I, Claire Clark,
I, Claire Clark,
I, Edmund Scott Lucas,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Board of Trustees,
of Board of Trustees,
member 2023 to 2026 term, 3-year term.
2020.
Oh, 2029. 2020, I'm with that.
2026.
That's okay.
2026 to 2029.
2026 to 2029 for a 3-year term. Okay. The state of Texas, and will do of the state of Texas, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the constitutional laws of the United States of this state. So help me God.
so help me God.
so help me.
Okay, you guys don't decide. It's a lot. It's a mouthful. Huh?
That is.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you so much for your service and for being here. It's a privilege to work with you, and I look forward to the next 3 years. I know that it's not on the agenda, but it's kind of an extenuation of what's going on here. The board wishes to thank Ruthie Elkins for her time with us here at Stonewall County Hospital District these past 3 years. It's been an honor to work with Miss Ruthie Elkins. We are ever grateful for your years of service, and you have helped to guide our district into successful years. And we thank you, and we have some things that we want to give you from the board. And so this is the one that I want. Yeah, you can just take the good time. We thank you for your time, and your service.
Yes, oh my goodness, well, thank you.
So turn around and hold it so he can get your pictures.
It's a ruby clock.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Take that with Ruby. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful. So thank you, Ruthie, so much.
You are very welcome.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
And if you want to go now and go play 42, really, that's okay. We have a quorum and we're good.
Oh, it just hit me. This did interrupt your 42.
Yes, okay.
Well, that's it.
They're waiting to put on her.
Yeah, this actually frees her up.
If you want to, whatever you want to do.
Thank you, Ruthie.
I'll tell you what, right there, it's a board member.
42 is important.
It is. 5/11. Today's 11. 5/11. 26. All right. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you.
Thank you all. I enjoyed most of it. I said, I'd rather be playing 42.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
It's a ruby.
Thank you, Ricky. You're welcome. All right.
See you again one more time.
One more time, you bet. Have fun playing dominoes.
See y'all later. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is line item 9 that we're going to go to, and this is the selection of Board of Trustees executive positions. And this is where the board selects the president, vice president, and the secretary. So, I guess we can start with the secretary. I nominate Renee. She has done an awesome job. She keeps me on target, keeps me from tripping all over the place. So I nominate Renee. Do I hear a second?
Second it.
Okay, got a second from Belinda. Okay, next is the,
All those in favor?
all those in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Good.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Next is the vice president position. Do I have a nomination?
I nominate Belinda.
Okay, any second?
I'll second
And I have a second from Claire.
Why James things at work.
Okay, and for the position of president?
I'll nominate Miss Ellen.
Thank you,
I'll second it.
thank you. Do I, yeah, okay. All in favor? Any opposed? And thank you very much. We have an excellent board. We have had an excellent board now for a number of years, and I appreciate y'all so much. You just have no idea. If you make a difference, you make a huge difference in the community by being here. So,
We appreciate you, Alice.
all right. Next, we have line item 10. Yes, line item 10. This is where Forvis Mazar's financial audit report. This is Miss Whitley.
I'm gonna kick it off a little bit, and I do have a little bit of an announcement. You guys are new, so you don't get the history of some of this, but it was only a few years ago when I had a hard time saying the word retire. I had a hard time saying it. And now it's real, it's public, and it's on my calendar. I retire in May of 2027. So I want you to know with all my heart that this has been my honor and my privilege to be able to work with you guys. You're our fantastic group. I think the leadership speaks well for itself. I think Travis Skinner is going to give you a report that you will be very pleased to listen to. Travis Skinner and I have been working together for 22 years, and I think I've got him a little ready for some of this. I have a year left to keep working, but this young man has got a lot of rural hospital, 22 years of rural hospital experience. He is a partner with Forvis Mazars, has been a partner now this is going on his 5th year.
And that in and of itself speaks highly as the leadership in our office to kind of take things over in my absence. I do have one thing to kind of tell you about the audit report that I would like to take over and do, and then he's going to give you what's going on in the healthcare industry and then about your audit report. But for the last several years, and I haven't made just a major ordeal about it, but for the last several years, you guys have been operating under what under audit terms we would refer to as a going concern. That's where we have not been able to really guarantee you on a solidified piece of paper saying that we're comfortable thinking that you have a long-term ability to stay open, okay? And it was some really hard times when that going concern was put on this hospital, where there was minimal cash and a lot of debt. And some of you board members kind of remember those days. But it's been through the hard work and leadership of the people here in this room that have gotten you to a point where the going concern has now been lifted and taken away. And I really want to be I told Travis, I said, I really kind of want to be the one that tells you guys, you now are a normal audit going forward without any going concern worries. And you'll see it in your audit, cash is up, you'll see it in your audit, your liabilities are going down. You're in a good financial position this year with profit. And so I think that speaks to the leadership in the group in this room that you guys have worked yourselves out of what would be considered 4 or 5 years ago a pretty good hole. So I congratulate you in that situation. It's not simple to make the going concern test go away to your auditors. I haven't really been concerned you aren't going to be here 1 year after the other, but on paper, you guys have really you really have to come out and prove that ability. And so my last hurrah for being able to tell you is we did it together. How about that? Michael, that speaks volumes for what you guys have been through for the last several years. I don't know if this is going to be my last board meeting or not. It depends upon when we deliver next year, whether or not I'm back. Because there's some part that I have to go away. When you say you're retiring, you have to go away. And so it'll be timing on when that next board meeting is. But I'm leaving you in great hands with Travis Skinner, and he's going to do your audit report tonight. And there's a lot going on in the healthcare industry right now. There's a lot. Travis, I'm going to hand it to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deborah.
I know it didn't seem like a lot, but that's like winning the Super Bowl for accountants when something like that happens. Getting that going, that's big for us when we see that paper change. I know it didn't sound like much, but that's huge news. That's something to be very, very proud of. Deborah has talked nothing but glowing remarks about preparing me for this, coming to talk to you guys. And I was excited to be able to come and do that. If I've trained under Deborah for, like she said, 22 years. I'm from a small town myself, Little Riesel, Texas, which is less than 1,000 people. So I'm a rural guy through and through, wore my boots here and everything, right? But I understand we're at item number 9. You skipped 1 through 7. We got to get this show on the road and get going again. So you're not here all night. So what's going on in healthcare? What's happening outside of Stonewall's walls, right? What is leadership and Michael have to deal with outside that's coming? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about AI, right? Artificial intelligence. With anything that's coming, there's going to be a good side and a bad side, right? Everybody's talking about how great it can be, helping with research, helping speeding up processes, helping our world, right? There's data centers coming as well, from what we understand. Not about that, but how can AI be used on the other foot is what I worry about. And that goes to insurers and how fast they can deny a claim having a human do it, right? That's been the big thing now. Well, once they train their AI robots to do that, it's only going to happen even faster. So that's going to be just as much good as it brings. There's going to be things we have to fight on the other side. And this is the next big technological boom we're in with the AI that's going everything. And we're getting into a big game of rock'em sock'em robots, because that's what everybody has is an AI bot or robot. So can we teach our bots to be better than theirs? And that's where we're gonna get into it with them. Supplemental programs, the Medicaid 1115 waiver, Medicaid DISH, Medicaid uncompensated care. Those are programs here in the state. They're extended to 2030. That is going to be a very important year, 2030, between 2028 and 2032. Those years, it has not been the most fun program here of late. There has been recoupments across the state, not just Stonewall. It is a statewide issue with how they set these programs up, specifically DISH and UC. They kind of play off of each other, meaning they use the same people in each program. Well, if they do that, the state's going to go, I don't want to pay for one in this program, turn to pay for them in this one here. And that's causing a lot of overpayment. The other issue with the programs are you have to build your charity care. Your uninsured charity care has to do this year over year. Well, that's not easy to do. It's not easy to continually grow your uninsured charity care. Those are state methodology type problems and the calculations and how those go. If we look at them as a silo, meaning we're just looking at 25, it'll be a profitable program. It's not detrimental. It just doesn't feel profitable anymore. It's because they gave us money based on data from 2 years ago. We get the money, we spend it, we survive on it. And then 2 years down the road, they go, oh wait, that number doesn't match this number. We need this back. And there's nothing you could have done to change or do it. And it doesn't feel like it. But when you look at it as a silo 1 year to 1 year, it's still beneficial. It's going to stretch to 2030. I say 2030 is big because that's when we're going to get to where healthcare really becomes the wild, wild west. You're going to have potentially, what do they do with Medicare payments? Do they go to a capitated rate, meaning you only get so much per month per member? It kind of does away with critical access. Does Medicare Advantage completely take over? The 2030, do they renew the Medicaid supplemental program? The other piece is now, does RHTP, it extends into there too. What happens when it goes away? So and with all of that, the baby boomer generation, the last people who qualify to say they're baby boomers will be fully qualified to be on Medicare. So they'll have the greatest that big generation of folks on Medicare traditional going, whoa, where do we put these people? How are we going to live with that? So it's going to be a time of figuring out how to survive and how to get costs down. One way that's happening is through Medicare Advantage, or some call it Medicare Disadvantage. And being critical access, it really hits. So I'm part of NRHA, and I go to, and with them I go to Washington, D.C., and I go to Capitol Hill. And last February I went, and it was an eye-opening experience. It's not what I thought. I thought the black bands were going to show up because I'm showing up on Capitol Hill in boots, and they're just going to kick me out, right? But it was awesome. It was a really good time. And this was our goal of talking about Medicare Advantage and how it's hurting rural critical access hospitals and the denials. And they really didn't know what was going on. So we go back in August, and I take this with me. And I take some data to show them. And now that it's kind of bubbling in August of 25, that Medicare Advantage is kind of a problem. How do we fix it? Well, this helped. That I had more requests for this data. So we're not going to get into all these numbers, I promise. The ones we're focused on is what is Medicare Advantage penetration rate, right? That's out of my county. If I had 100 Medicare eligible patients, what percentage is Medicare Advantage? What percentage is traditional? On average, I have 10 critical access hospitals up here for 1 year. On average, between inpatient, outpatient, and swing bed, it's between 55 and 65% are on Medicare Advantage. All right? Well, that doesn't tell me nothing, Travis. That's a big number, but what does it tell me? I need to know. Well, on average, Medicare Advantage denied between 10 and 15% of those same inpatient, outpatient, swing bed claims. When you think, oh, that's not that bad, until you hear Medicare Traditional denies 2% or less. Okay, that's not good, but I need to know more. So then I said, all right, on these 10 hospitals, how much of that Medicare Advantage due to denials did it hurt those 10 hospitals? And in the aggregate, it was $14 million in 1 year for 10 hospitals. So you say on average, it was $1.4 million per hospital. There's over 90 critical access hospitals in the state. So for 1 year, that got over to over $100 million in 1 year. I said, you take that back 3 years, it's probably 90, 85 million. We go forward 3 years, and we're pushing 150, 175 quickly because this numbers continue to grow. And that's what they're pushing forward when we get to 2030. So Medicare Advantage was bubbling. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to do that? Well, now we go few months forward. Now we're in February 26, and that all shifted. It got put on the back burner because of the Rural Health Transformation Program. This is the 5-year, $50 billion that you've heard about. Unfortunately, it's pretty much a vote grab. So they could get the One Big Beautiful Bill passed. They had to have this. This is a way that they're looking, as the federal government has pushed money down to the states to go, hey, we need to go from sick care, meaning getting people in the hospital, bringing them here, to well care. Keep them out of the hospital, keep them away, keep them healthy, right? So a lot of the money is focused on having people take care of themselves. I look at it like you're just fixing to force a diet on everybody in the country. And we know how that goes. Hey, they might be excited day 1, day 2, they're surviving, day 3, they got a headache, day 4, they want their cheese enchiladas, and I'm done with it, right? That's pretty much how this is set up. And with that, it was a very big hurry up and wait program. Meaning, hey, we got all this money, they told everybody, but there's nothing we can do, right? There wasn't anything set up. The state has got to run this and pass out over $280 million this year. They've got to have the applications and the fund and the requests for that funding to work through. These are the 6 initiatives that they're working through. And you can see the 3 that I have bolded are the ones that can come directly to a hospital district, a rural hospital, things like that. The problem is, out of nowhere, they opened up 4. This one has 2 applications, 4 has 1, and 6 has 1, and they opened all 4 of them up right now, and they're due before the end of May. And we sat on a torch call that went over this, and I was going, oh my God, I'm glad I have a team that knows federal grants, because it was a nightmare. And it just made me feel for everybody who had to feel these things out, because it's not going to be easy. Basically, the 2, 3, and 5, those are all going to work through accountable care organizations, integrated networks for funding to come down to hospitals to help with more IT-related stuff. Number 1 is really about community wellness. That's that community diet type plan, trying to help educate your community. Number 4 is more about building your mid-level practice, bringing people in, starting scholarships and different funding programs with the schools to get people funneled through your system. And then number 6 is infrastructure and capital improvements. Some of these things are tied. You get beneficial treatment in your selection process if you pick American-made products and you're filling out your applications. Some of the money is set aside out of the 50, 60 million they set aside for number 6 down here. The state is going to use 20 million of it. So it's not even coming all the way down. But this is a program that's going to stretch, even though it's a 5-year program, there's 2 years to every program year that overlap. So it's really like 7, maybe getting into 8. Any dollar we don't use goes back into the fund that another state can use next year. So Texas is banking on, we got the most amount out of everybody. We have the most rural out of everybody. They're banking on people like Delaware that got $200 million and has 2 rural hospitals. They're not going to be able to use all that money, so it goes back in the pool. We're going to get some of that next funding year, and so on, and keep using it. So it's a program that also is made to take some of what they feel is the burden off of the $140 billion of Medicaid cuts that they're going to make nationally. $50 billion isn't. That 140, 50 billion, that doesn't add up, right? That's where we're going. Well, we're going to have these people not in the hospital, not being sick. They're going to be well after this time, and we're going to keep them that way. We'll see. But this is the program. We were talking with Michael earlier, and he dedicated a week and a half, 2 weeks to this. I hope I didn't get in trouble.
No, you're good.
Control your schedule. But it's going to take that. It's a lot going on. This is going to be a full plate, trying to make sure you get the funds in. What do you do with the funds? And then are you in compliance? Because out of the $280 million they set aside for this program, $1.4 billion over the life of this program, $15 million is set aside for external auditors. Not me, not Deborah, not us. For somebody else to come in and audit your facility before you get an award, and then again after you get an award. And then you have a third audit, which is a single audit, which we went through with PRF funds that we will help. That's where we come in and help with. But it's just how much you're in compliance and what you're doing with the funds to meet the metrics so you get to keep the dollars. It's going to be an interesting process. So that's kind of really a big picture of, I can go into the, you can tell I can keep talking about that a lot longer, but y'all have a lot more to discuss. So, any questions on any of that? All right. So let's jump into your 9/30/25 audit numbers, right? We didn't bring the reports. What could we tell you about your year? And again, we joked earlier that you joined the board at a good time. These are some good numbers. If I told you cash is up, revenue's up, bottom line's a lot better. That sounds pretty good. It's a winning formula right there. That's what you want to hear. It sounds like this is going to be a start of a trend, a good trend going forward. Your net patient service revenue increased by about $2 million over prior year. I'll say your gross revenue and your net revenue are higher than it's been since 2022.
Wow.
So this year was the highest since 2022. Your operating expense increased about $900,000. The operating loss, it went from operating loss went to $929,000, where last year was a loss of $2 million. Excuse me. And then your net position, this year your bottom line was a positive $1.1 million, where last year it was a $60,000 loss. All right, you can close and go home. That's pretty good, right? So let's go a little further. In front of you, you should have two documents. The first one should be stapled. It is the required communication for your eyes only. This is for you. This is about the audit, some of the procedures that we went through. I suggest reading this later. Where we're going to live is in the bound copy. This is your audited financial reports if you had to take it to the bank or somewhere looking for financing. This is what you would use. And we're going to start on page 7. So yours is going to look like mine, except I have a difference column, and we're going to talk about the difference here. So I have 24/25, and this is on page 7. Everybody know where we're at here? Okay. So looking at it, your total current assets last year was 3.2, almost 3.3 million. This year it's 3.9, about a $600,000 increase. Part of that is $184,000. Cash went from $900,000 to almost 1.09 million, so up about $185,000. That's from your operations. You did much better collecting this year. You'll see that in our net days and AR slide. So that's including paying off liabilities and purchasing assets, and you're still up $200 in the bank. The other big piece of this was your estimated due from third parties. Last year was about $300,000. This year it's about $695,000. That is, if we look at it broken down for you here, so last year that $299 was part of your cost report receivable. You had some chirp and wraps, which is part of the 1115 waiver program, along with the QUIP receivables there. Mainly it was the QUIP receivable. This year it's a little bit more QUIP receivable, and then your cost report receivable at $350,000. Your cost report receivable went up because your volumes went down on the inpatient side. It was really driven by your swing bed, and your Medicare is what's driving that receivable. Your volumes went down, but actually your Medicare traditional patients went up, and that's your critical access protection there. And we have a slide that kind of shows how that happened, or how that has happened over the past couple of years, that change in volume. So going forward, your net capital assets, that went from 7.6 million to 7.2, down 429,000. But we'll look at that. It is on page 18. Flip back there. It'll be note 5, your capital lease and subscription assets. And you'll see on 25 will be at the top. And you'll see your total beginning balances was $14.4 million in land and building and equipment. And then the less the accumulated depreciation of 6.7 gets us to the starting point of the 7.69, or the ending point of last year. You had some additions of about $261,000. That was your server room, IT infrastructure, and you purchased a couple vehicles. You'll see there's also disposals of $128,000. That was a couple vehicles that you sold, that you got rid of and you replaced them. So when we come down to the bottom, you can see the additions were $261,000. The accumulated depreciation was $664,000, which got us to a $400,000 difference there. Same on the disposals, a $26,000 difference. So we went from 7.6 million minus the 400 minus the 26 to get us to the 7.2. After that, really the only big change, I don't have it highlighted, but it would be your net pension assets. And that increase here, it was about 380, but that's because the market did much better. And that will fluctuate up and down. If we took all your net pension assets, your deferred inflows, deferred outflows, it's really only about $184,000 net change. So that gets us down to your total assets. Last year was $12 million. This year it's $12.4 million, so an increase of about $453,000. We go back and we'll be on page 8. On page 8 will be the liabilities and net positions. Sorry, that's not page 8. There we go. So here, same thing. You should see everything from here over in your book. I just have a difference column. In 24, our total current liabilities was 2.7. This year it's 2.4 million, so it's down $340,000. Part of that is your current maturities of long-term debt. Last year was $943,000. That's your bond payment, your tax anticipation note, USDA loan, and line of credit. This year, it's only $461,000 because it's just the bond payment and just the tax anticipation note. Your estimated amounts due to third parties. Last year was $407,000. This year is $68,000. That is this section down here. Last year we had an interim rate payable from our cost report where the rates changed. And a dish overpayment. This year it's just DY11 and DY12 payments. That's 2 years into that. And if I could go sell that to other hospitals, that's as little as they owed for DY11 and 12, they would take it in a heartbeat. It's usually all of these numbers combined is what they have. And that's, again, that goes back to the state. In the waiver program, between DY9 and DY13, everybody in the state has at least 2 overpayments. Now, they're not that small. I have to make some calls, and I'm like, it's multi-7 figures. Like, it's not good. So for DY13 and 14, we don't estimate any overpayments. So we're back to going forward. It should be back to normal there. So going forward here, your total liabilities last year were $6 million. This year, $5.2 million. Down a little bit here to $776. Again, I don't have it highlighted, but this is your long-term debt is down $400,000 because it's up here in your current piece. That's just the current portion. So overall, your total, your net position last year was $5.8 million. This year it's $7 million. A $1.1 million bottom line will do that. That's very good. So our total liabilities net position went from $12 million to $12.4, a $450,000 increase. We turn to page 9. That's where we're going to get to the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. Basically our income statement here. Again, you can see you'll have everything from 24 over. Just I have a variance column. Net patient service revenue last year was 12.4. This year it's 14.5, about a $2 million increase. Again, that's an increase in your outpatient volume, and it's better collections working. That's very good. We don't get to say that a lot. That's to be commended to leadership on a lot of hard work. Again, your gross revenue, I think it was $15 million this year. 22, it was probably around 12, I think. So it's 22 is around 12 million. So again, higher than normal. This year it was 14, and in 22 it was close to 11. So this is definitely trending in the right direction. Your operating expenses, 14.6 last year, 15.5 this year. So it's an increase of just less than $1 million. Big changes there. Your salaries increased about $350,000. That was, you had a merit increase, you had an increase in FTEs, maybe not people, but hours worked. You had an increase in volume, you're going to have more people working. And then your purchase services. Here were some salary people were reclassed to contract labor. That's just moving one bucket to the other. And then the biggest change was with the Stonewall Living Center. There was more contract labor being used there, along with the supplies. So your operating loss last year was $2 million. This year, it's $929,000, so a change of $1.1 million in the right direction. So going forward, your non-operating revenues stayed pretty flat. They were 1.9 last year, 2 million this year. You had a little bit of increase in your property taxes, went up about 55,000. So overall, your non-operating revenues increased only 45,000, which means your bottom line was really driven by operations. That's not normal in today's world. That's pretty awesome. Usually this number right here is a big piece of that. So your bottom line last year, 2024, was $60,000. This year it's 1.1 million. Any questions and thoughts there?
No, it sounds great.
Take that smile off your face there, Michael. It's hard work right there.
Hard work. Very, very good. So let's look at this a little different. Another way to look at this, your unaudited bottom line was $1 million, $1,023,023. There were some outsourced entries, the biggest one being third-party settlements, being your cost report that we help do. The other were adjustments suggested by our audit team as we went through, which the biggest one was your grant revenue to earned unearned, the $350,000, and that was the hospital improvement grant that was not expended at the end of 9/30/25. It's being used now, correct, going forward? Yes. So that one it was a moving of that number to get us to our $1.1 million net position.
So the 350 can be recorded as revenue in the year that you expended. So you'll get to pick that up in revenue. We took it out of your 25 fiscal year, and you'll be able to pick that up as revenue in your 26 fiscal year. Okay, so we didn't take it away permanently. You can't claim it until you spend it.
And that's what we'll be talking about later in this meeting, spending it.
Okay, so if we look at this, is your net income over the years from 2022 to 2025? These aren't in your book, but this is your net income. Bottom line, it was 2.4 million in 22, which you can see. We'll get to why that one is so big, but you can see it was negative 453.23, negative 60,000 in 24, and then the 1.1 this year. That includes these non-continuing amounts, which if we're going to look at what is it if we pull those out, which this still had $3 million of COVID-related grants that got recognized late. That's what made this so big. If you just took that one out, it's going to be just a little bit bigger than this one, and you can see the trend. But you have your waiver and your dish as well. You can see how that number has kind of gone down a little bit with the way that the calculations work. And then you have your quip. So if we pull that out, we have a $1.7 million loss, a $1.2 million loss, almost a $470,000 loss, and we're still positive for 25. Now, if we pull out our property taxes, you can see it gets to a different story all the way down. That's how important your property taxes still are going forward. Just because we had one great year, that doesn't mean all's well it ends well. We got to keep pushing forward, especially with all the confusion and not knowing what's going forward. Cash is going to be kind of king as we keep moving into closer to that 2030 timeline.
But you can clearly see 2025 is your best year over the last four.
Yeah.
Didn't go back any further, but it was the same trend. So in every way, 2025 was a good fiscal year.
So we're going to start doing some more comparative slides here. But first, this is just comparing yourself for your net revenue trends between 2018 to 2025 with the dollar amounts going up the side. Your actual net revenue from 2018 to 2021 is the red from the far side to right about the middle, and that's what sets that dotted line. What is it predicting your trend going to be going forward? So the yellow line is from 21 to 25, and you can see you're outperforming the prediction, especially in 25. Here is your liquidity, and this is the number of years, 22 to 25 here, the number of dollars and thousands going up the vertical axis. The red column is if we took your cash and paid just your accounts payable. So that's one cat. And you can see you're good here. The blue columns are if we took all your cash and investments and put it against your current payable and accruals. So there's a few more accruals in there that has it where our liquidity isn't as strong if we had to pay all those out, but we don't have to pay those out of either. Your days cash on hand. So 23 to 25 is down here. The number of days are at the top. The the green is your governmentals. The blue is the median of the critical access. Because if we just went off of what it was actual critical access, it would be close to 600 plus days cash on hand, which is not realistic because there's some outliers in there living in the patch that makes that number go quite a bit higher. You can see here for Stonewall is in red. It looks like a pretty straight line. It has increased a little bit each year, so it's trending in the right direction, but it's still below your peers on that slide. However, your net days in AR, this is where we talked about earlier, you had better collections in 25. Same thing, green is governmental, and blue is your critical access. So you have the 3 years, 23 to 25 on the bottom, the number of days on the vertical, and this is how long when a claim comes in, how long is it taking us to get paid, right? You don't want it to be up here 40, 50, 60 days. You can see from 24 to 25, we went just over 35 down to almost 30, right around 31, 32. So that was getting money in the door faster. This is the trend you want on this slide.
You just can't hardly get it faster than that.
Yeah.
I would say if you get any lower than that, you're just writing it off to a certain extent.
Yeah,
so
Absolutely.
I think 30 to 40 is really a healthy number for you to stabilize at.
Definitely outperforming your peers. Come on. There we go. So these are your patient days. These are, again, 22 to 25 on the bottom, the number of days on the vertical. These are in total, add these two together, gets us to our total number of days. However, the red is the Medicare traditional, and the blue is all other Medicare or Medicare Advantage, Medicaid, commercial, self-pay. So you can see we had a decrease in our days in total, but our red got a lot bigger. And that's awesome. That doesn't normally happen. If our red starts creeping down into the blue, like you can see in the other years, that's where your Medicare traditional patients are turning into Medicare Advantage patients. And we talked about that earlier, how bad that is. So having that Medicare traditional and having it even grow is a very good situation.
I love that trend that you guys did not have as much Medicare Advantage in 2025.
We don't see that. I have not personally seen that.
We don't see many hospitals that have a better year of traditional Medicare Advantage.
Well, I will say that was what I was telling y'all about Cindy. She works at trying to get that converted in the nursing home, which has probably helped a huge amount.
And we have a small audience, and so when we speak, we don't talk highly of the advantage.
Whatever it is that you do, that is part of a factor that has contributed to higher net patient service revenue.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah. Remember this red, they only denied 2% or less, right?
And they pay current cost-based reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
The blue doesn't guarantee you current year cost-based and could deny.
Yeah.
So
It is the one that you have the opportunity to be paid within 30 days also.
it is.
It's a big money as far as turning cash on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. This is your length of stay for your routine days only being critical access. There's the 96-hour rule. You have to have an average length of stay of 4 days or less. You can have patients that are here longer, but on average through the year, that number has to come out to 4 or less. You have the 22 to 25 on the bottom, the number of days on the vertical. You can see in 22, that was up getting closer to 4. but that was during COVID. And between 22 and 23, they lifted that regulation, so we didn't have to worry about that. In 24 and 25, it came back in, and we're right about that 3-day average length of stay. Now we're going to look at some more peer comparisons. This is as a percentage of your net revenue, which remember, it's been the highest it's been in a while. So this one is actually on your gross revenue, percentage of net revenue. It's your inpatient, your outpatient, your rural health clinic, and your long-term care. The red is your critical access peer group. The green is your governmental. The blue is Stonewall 24, and the orange is Stonewall 25. And what we're seeing across is outpatient is driving the business nowadays, right? That's the leader. But again, there's nothing here that's outside the norm. You can see we had an outpatient increase like we talked about. That was a big driver for you guys.
And you have your own long-term care, you have your own nursing home, that not very many have their own self-supporting affiliated nursing home within the district. So you use it right, it works.
Breaking this down, say all the colors will mean the same thing as we go through. Breaking this down again as a percentage of net revenue, your personnel costs are less than your peers in the current, and as a percentage of net revenue, with 25 being less than 24. And this is your A&G costs if we took out the personnel. Again, it's 5 is less than 24, and you're doing better than your peers. That's the way to look at those. If we break that down, your personnel costs a little more between salaries and wages, employee benefits and contracts, purchase and contract services. You're right around that 55% of it being salaries, which you got to pay your people. You have to have those guys to have a good shift. Again, 25 as a percentage of net revenue for the hospital only is less than prior year, and you're pretty much out competing your peers in this slide as well. Breaking down your expenses a little further, you have supplies, insurance, depreciation, amortization, plan ops, and other expenses. Again, in all years, you're outdoing your competitors in all categories. This one is, we can't control this. What this is, we don't. That's kind of a catch-all for other hospitals, so don't worry about that. Now, looking at it as again, as percentage of net revenue, your income before governmental subsidies, your governmental subsidies, non-operating revenue, and your net income. You can see in 24 we were below the line. 25 we're right there at it, actually above it. Before our governmental subsidies and our non-operating, it gets us to here, which again, you're out competing the governmentals, and now on your operations, you're outdoing your peers as well.
It's a good slide.
That's a really good slide. Especially with you looking at tax dollars, how much some others get. So, closing things down, audit findings. There was a material weakness of financial reporting. That's because we had to suggest some audit adjustments in the size of those. That's talked about in your stapled copy, along with the lack of segregation of duties. That's because there's not enough heads for all the hats that have to be around. Something we have to tell you about. If it was a great concern, we'd have a different conversation. But this is just to make sure you're aware there's welcome to rural America, welcome to rural hospital healthcare. There's just not enough people to cover everything. So finally, this is our going forward. What do we think going forward? And we had a great conversation with Michael and Lou earlier about some ideas and things that they have, and it was very impressive. I'll tell you that. But between now and then, continuing with the billing and collections and revenue cycle process, that's what drove this year's success. That's what's going to keep driving the train forward. And then you guys definitely are doing this, maximizing your traditional Medicare reimbursement as a critical access. But the bottom piece is what's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot of energy, and it's going to take a lot of the focus away from this, unfortunately. And that's being prepared for these RHTP applications that have to be filed, the compliance that goes through with it, documenting everything you have. If your procurement policy says you have to have 3 bids, guess what you have to have? 3 days. It's things that you have to go through and document to go, we're not telling you what to spend the money on. Torch has people that can help you figure out what that money is to be spent on. It's, can we keep it because we're in compliance with what the federal grants are asking? That's going to be a big piece that's going to take up a lot of time going forward. Any other thoughts or concerns or worries? Cash is up, revenue's up, bottom line's better.
I like all of it.
Hey! That's a good one to come on.
We needed good news knowing that what I've got ahead of me the next few weeks, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a headache.
And I'll if there's no, I'll tell you this. Deborah has some big shoes to fill. Like, she's leaving some big shoes behind that have to be filled, and I'm going to do everything I can to help and make sure you guys don't skip a beat. If there's a problem, if there's anything that comes up, you don't feel you're getting the right service, nobody's answering your questions, you let me know, and we're going to make that stop. We're going to fix the problem extremely quickly. Unfortunately, I do not have business cards to hand you. It's one of my biggest pet peeves about who we become. But Michael has our information. Here's our information. I'm half millennial, so my phone is on me at all times. If you need me, I will see it and get back with you. But that level of service is not going to stop. I can promise you that.
Well, thank you very
I
much.
do have to tell on him a little bit. So his millennial age, they gave us business cards and it had your name on the front and had a QR code on the back. And show it to him.
I still have it. I have a business card. If you want to take a picture of my little QR code.
Okay, I got one of those and sent it back and said, this is not sufficient. I have business cards with my name, my address, my telephone number, good old kind. I refuse to live with a QR code. So I think I have finally convinced him that QR code doesn't do a dang thing for you. So he can get a real card. He just has to ask for it.
I can have the right
Well, if
person.
you've got anybody like Cody, it's like, well, you can't print anything, so you need to stop. Go
Travis
paperless
and
and
Cody will live in a good little world
There
of
you
not
go.
printing a dang thing, but old-fashioned me, I had cards made. He'll probably have cards next time you see him.
Yes.
He's finding that my clients are adjusted to a little old-fashioned ways, right? There you go. Experienced in season, but he'll have a business card that he can hand to you guys soon.
I do have a question for you guys. Some of this RHTP stuff is confusing to me, and I know it would be for them, but because I know that there's the big beautiful bill, and then there's also the Texas, they have their initiatives, and it's two separate pieces. How does that,
So the RHTP is one thing, right?
yeah,
And you're going to hear something called Rural Texas Strong.
there,
That is Texas's RHTP. Their 6 initiatives I showed you had to line up directly with the federal. And the federal government had to approve these 6. So it's the same thing. Every state has their own take on what those 6 initiatives are.
and so those are all going to go together across the board, because I've actually got a handout to show them that of what they each one of them said.
Mhm.
But as I understood it, you're not applying for 2 separate. It's just the same thing. It's just how did the feds do it, and what did the state?
Right,
call
so
it?
the state filed an application. They had to file their own
Yeah.
application in November
Mhm.
and said, here's what we're going to do with the money that our initiatives match what you want the initiatives to be.
Gotcha.
And this is our take on it and what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to measure and meet these metrics. And they sent that to the government. Government said, yes, you're approved for $281 million, even though and this is what they have to do. Now they adjusted it some,
Gotcha.
but so Oklahoma had to go do the same process, same thing. They have 6 initiatives. It might not be exactly what Texas has, but they're all going to be in the same ballpark of what the federal government said. These are the metrics you have to meet,
Yeah.
and that what you need the money to do. Now each individual initiative is something different. They overlap in some, but
Mhm.
not a lot. Like, for instance, that first one is community wellness. The 5th one is cybersecurity.
Yeah.
so they don't all overlap.
In your applications, in each initiative, you need to know what the boxes to check are to get the money. When you ask for it, it needs to be in that initiative. Don't ask for something in initiative 1 that initiative 5 is gonna pay out for. So they only want, I guess, one application for
initiative.
one per initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So one initiative, one application for one initiative for
So-
6.
So you'll have 4.
1, 4,
Initiative 1, Part 1, Initiative 1, Part 2, Initiative 4, Initiative 6. That is all separate from when the state of Texas goes, here's the innovation grant. Here's when the rural hospital, or what is it, SOAR, State Office of Rural Health, put out their CIP grant, which is separate, right? So there's about 6 applications for grant dollars out there right now that you cannot overlap projects or expenses on any of them.
But if you don't spend it for what you said you would that check the boxes, you pay it back. So it's a lot of diligence on asking for what they want you to spend it on and spending it for what you asked you were gonna use it for.
and as I understand it, part 1 of initiative 1 is, it's non-competitive.
It's direct award.
It's direct. It's 60 hospitals that are getting whatever, $80
The 80
million.
rural hospital districts,
Or 80.
yeah.
Getting 60, that's it. 80 getting 60. And then the second one is another, what, $56 million or
Correct.
give or
And
take?
that's a competitive award.
And is that all 158 rural hospitals out here competing against it?
And non-hospitals.
Non-rural
And
hospitals.
non-rural hospitals?
But health
rural
agencies.
hospitals, but not rural providers. So you might have a standalone rural pharmacist that can come compete for you with that
Gotcha.
award now. You might have,
Okay.
it's still have to provide rural services to rural people. Rural never leaves any of this, but it's not hospitals or hospital districts and just nursing homes. It opens it up.
Okay. Because that was something at Torch I never really could gather, whether it was if you qualified for 1, you didn't qualify for 2.
No,
But
you
it
can
is,
do
you
both.
get 1 and then you can also qualify
You
for the
can
2.
get 1, 4, and 6
6 directly, but one has 2.
Yeah, one has 2
has
parts.
1, 2.
Those are the only 4 you're gonna compete. I mean, you're gonna apply for as a hospital. Some of the other ones you can't apply for, or the state's already gonna designate how it's gonna get spent.
Okay, all right, I got
It's a
you.
lot of money
You're
for
going
5
to do
years.
those same 4
For 5 years.
for 5 years. And for initiative 4, that's for bringing mid-levels into your practice and helping schools set up scholarships to get more nurses in mid-levels. They award 1 per county. So now you're competing for that award. You might be the rural hospital district in your county, but if you have these other rural providers that are associated with you, they can put in for that county award as well. And now you're competing with anybody who says they're a rural provider in your county for that award.
What about the other counties that we're in? Can I apply for each county? Since I've got the only clinic in
I
Kent
would-
County and
I
in
would
Dade
say
I
County.
would say yes,
I
because
would
it's
say
per
yes.
county, not do you
You can apply if you provide services in another county. Yes.
I would definitely
That's
ask
good to know.
your
Just want to
legal
bounce
team.
my head off with that.
I told you I can talk about that. I know we're hijacking your meeting. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to ask though. I may be giving you guys a call again this week since really and truly this will probably end up being me, Cody, Lou, trying to basically put this entire thing together, the 3 of us. So,
And we have, like I said, we have a grant. I'm not trying to sell you here at all, but we have a grants management solutions team. All they do is live inside federal grants, and they're being independent. There's not much we can do, but they can give you thoughts of when you're filling them out, things to think
Okay.
about as you're
Might
doing it.
warrant a good 30, 45-minute phone call.
Well, we're
Accumulate your questions.
given what we're still not
Don't-
sure about on the second single audit, yeah. We
Well,
need to make sure
what I would
everything-
recommend is y'all do some strategic planning and then
Let me
then
know
do the
when
call.
you
Don't
have
do the call because you won't know what to ask at that point yet.
okay,
Okay, get your money's worth out of that phone call.
Yeah.
all right, we'll do it.
That's good.
All right, well, thank you guys very much. It was a great report.
Good luck
You can
with
come
your
back again
retirement.
next year, Travis, if you do the same thing, man.
Yes, sir. It was nice to meet all of y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you. I'll
Yes,
see
ma'am.
you. I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Something.
Thank you, sir.
Been good. We had a good run,
We
didn't we?
did, yeah. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well. Good luck to both of you. You'll enjoy
Nice to meet
this.
you.
Nice meeting you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You will be missed.
I will be missed.
Yes.
Not by everybody though.
I will tell
So
you,
you
Deborah,
continue?
Yes.
that he
Come
does,
down.
he does
Yeah, I'll
brag
have some
on how
questions for you.
informative your-
Yes, he
your
does.
visits are.
Later.
How
Okay.
informative what is?
How informative
You've sparked my
your
curiosity.
visits always
Good.
are.
I'm very curious.
He's always very,
He's really critical.
yeah.
It's
Wait,
been
I missed something. Are we all talking about?
I said that you were very,
rural healthcare
very
for 32
positive
years.
about it.
It's been 32 years. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but it's been, I bet you, 15 plus.
It's over a decade.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yes,
You got to be super.
I remember.
All right.
Appreciate
The
it.
very
Nice
first
to meet
time
you.
we
Travel
met.
safe.
Thank you. See you.
I was just gonna say, I would like to take a break. Do I have a motion? Make a motion. I have a motion from Renee, Kenny, second from Linda. It is 6:05. We will break for 15 minutes. District regular meeting. It is now 6:20. On the agenda, we're going to now pop back up to the district reports, which is line item 7A, which board member report. Does anybody on the board have anything that they want to report and or say?
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Cindy, you'll be too modest, but when we were honoring Angie and Juana, we always honor you too for the excellence you do in overseeing the facility.
Thank you. I'm very fortunate we have an excellent team.
That's what, but I'm there several days a week and it's just always so pleasant. And when you walk in, it just has the best fragrance. It's just such a nice facility and so caring. So
Thank you.
I know we honor you constantly.
Well, thank you.
We
just
you
have an
deserve
excellent
it.
team, so thank you.
One of the residents was sitting out talking the other day and she says, well, my family done the smell test. Oh, okay. She said they went to several nursing homes and ours smelled the best.
Okay.
That's what they told us.
And I'll agree.
I understand the smell test.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
do.
I do too.
Well, let me tell you a little story about that, and Cody will understand. There are products you can buy, and there's products that you want to buy.
Yes.
And so we have the privilege of buying a higher end quality product and stuff that gives us the odor control or the ambience in the whole building, because that has to match through a lot of chemicals and stuff, and we appreciate it because it takes a lot of effort to research and find things that work, and then find things that are pleasant. So I appreciate you.
That's
doing this.
important.
It is a
Very
team
important.
effort, for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right, anybody else on the board have anything that they want to add or say? No? All right, I've got a couple of things. And I don't know if all of y'all know, this is hospital week, and this is where we honor all of our staff, and we do special things for them because they work hard all the way through the year to help our patients and our residents feel at home and feel special, because they are. So Monday, of course, is past, but Tuesday they have a delicious Rosa Cafe lunch that is for the employees, and that's being served from 12 noon in the conference room. Build Your Own Salad is on, and Sandwich Bar is on Wednesday. Thursday, Crazy Cones Truck, they'll have a food truck out here for all of the staff. And then Friday, celebrate the end of district week with brisket sandwiches, chips, and sodas. And throughout the week, we hope that if you wish, you can join in the celebrations with the staff. But we thank all of our employees. They really are above the cut. Then I want to do my usual report. The Texas Healthcare Trustee Governance Conference is, I remind you again, in San Antonio. It's on June 4th through the 6th. I initially thought that I would decide not to go to the conference. However, I changed my mind because there are a number of important sessions this particular year that I feel important to attend concerning the AI data centers and how that affects our business, which is the medical field. And so I'm going to be going, and I think it's going to be a very valuable conference this year. Not that they aren't before, but it's very, it's going to be a good one. My shout outs today go to a couple of individuals. The board, we encourage the district staff to reach higher standards of care for our patients and our fellow employees. And a couple of our staff members have been stepping up, and we recognize them for their excellent work as they continue to stand out among their peers and better serving our communities. My first shout out goes to Karen Salazar. We celebrate Karen Salazar. She is our Central Supply Department head for an outstanding achievement. Karen's been honored with the Alliant Award for 2025 Supply Chain Excellence. Now, this is one of the slides that they showed us earlier, and it's how well we supply our different departments at a cost that is effective and not overrun by too much spending. As a valued member of the Stonewall County Hospital team, Karen plays a vital role in ensuring that our facility runs smoothly and efficiently. Her hard work, reliability, and passion for supporting patient care behind the scenes do not go unnoticed, and we're incredibly proud of her for to have her on our team, and grateful for the difference that she makes every day. So thank you so much, Karen. In Texas, the path for obtaining a nursing facilities administrator generally requires 1,000 hours of administrator in training, and it's an internship. This is paired with an educational requirements, typically a bachelor's degree plus 12 plus credit hours in long-term care administration and passing national and state exams. Cody Hall, our district director of operations, has met these requirements and obtained his license as a nursing facility administrator. The board congratulates Mr. Hall, and we thank him for his dedication and his efforts to serve our patients and residents at the highest level. So, thank you. And I think that's it. Next on the agenda is line item 7B, RHC report.
Erin had to be gone to this evening, so I told her I would cover her report. And I'll go over the rural health visit and our numbers in a few minutes. But for the month of April, well, actually, we'll go back to March since that's really the one we're looking at. We had a couple of the practitioners that actually were doing really well, saw 1.32 patients per hour. The other one saw 1.22, so those are really, really good numbers. I'm going to be pushing the nurse practitioners to try, or actually all the providers, if they're in the clinic to be seeing. I would really like to see 1.5, and I do think with this Microsoft Dragon that we're rolling out, which is an ambient system, an ambient listening system. Basically, AI will listen to the conversation that they have with the patient in the clinic, and it will actually completely do their documentation. They just walk back to their office and sign the documentation. It puts the information where it needs to go, exactly what needs to go to CMS, and all the other minutiae. If they just talk about the rose garden or something, that gets put into the background and doesn't get included. Now, we do have to set it up to where every time the practitioner walks in the room, they'll have to ask the patient if it's okay to use that. But I think most people will start to realize that it's just listening to them and then re-putting together their entire conversation. It should save our nurse practitioners a huge amount of time.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to that, having that in place, which once again goes back to what we heard in the audit about that turning over patients as quickly as possible. That's just become the name of the game. You have to actually work more efficiently across the board.
It'll help with denials.
Yeah, and it will help with denials because it will actually put the information they need into that documentation. Instead of them forgetting to do this or forget to do that. It'll actually put it there, and it'll even ask questions if there's a problem. So I do think it's going to be helpful in the long run, tremendously helpful.
Good.
Turnaround times are actually really good. In Stonewall, the nurse turnaround time was 10.2 minutes to get them to the back and have the nurse see them, and 23.4 minutes to get them into the back to see the provider. Kent County, 7.4 minutes to get back to the nurse and 16 minutes to the provider, and we don't have times for Spur in April. So you can see our minutes they're all getting better. They're doing a good job keeping it under control. I think that as Erin moves forward, we'll get these even faster, so that'll be a huge help. That's really it for her report.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I have one question. Why do we not have Spurs?
That is April's, and normally we do. This is for March data. She may just not have pulled April's numbers.
Okay.
The 1st of May is really all of the data me, Lou, all of us give is March numbers. So the March numbers are there. I just gave you the April.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. If nobody has any questions, we're going to go to the next line item C, Stonewall Living Center.
All righty, we had a wonderful month in April, ever census of 49. No complaints, no self-reports, which is excellent. Our open positioning is changing a little bit. We need to build our PRN pool. So we do have individuals that work with multiple facilities. So it has kept more of our overtime and agency use down, being able to work with a larger pool. So full-time or PRN is the way we've done it, and we ask them to work first. So we have a wonderful, almost completed project with our pergolas complete. Y'all need to come see it. It's wonderful. And then we have 2 shower remodels that are in progress and almost completed. So, and they are beautiful. So it'll give us much more area to work with and handle our residents. And so it's a big deal. Community is a really good thing, getting out and seeing everybody. So our churches and our bands, and then getting out. We go to Walmart, and that's a big deal for us, and we enjoy it. So I've listed our Medicaid rug for April, $209.53, and then the Medicare rug, which we had consistently 2 to 3, and so ran $649. So per day per person.
Wow.
So. Anyway, so that's a good deal. So
That's phenomenal.
Anyway, so it's good. We have, to add on to what Ellen was saying, we have 8 of our employees actively in college right now. We have 4 that are in the CMA, Certified Med Aid program. They'll be finished in 1st of June. And then we have 4 CNAs that are in RN school. So they're doing their prereqs and they'll do their RN.
Good.
So we have 8 active. So we're accommodating all their schedules and things, but it's worked out beautifully. And we're really supportive of their progress and everything. So
That is fantastic.
we do hope to plan to start our CNA class on May 26th.
Okay.
So,
Anybody have any questions, comments? No? Then we're going to move on to line item D, Chief Financial Officer's Report. That would be Lou.
Okay, I'm going to be a little bit more informal, partially because you've been exposed to accounting for a very long time already, and partially because I was traveling today and did not arrive here early enough to really do anything like what I usually do. Looking at the sheet, I also need to give just basically a little background. The accounting rules from month to month. We go, September becomes October, becomes November. This is the first I've seen these numbers. So everything on here, not everything, but several numbers on here will be adjusted based on the audit adjustments that Travis referred to. The only one that I was aware of and that is reflected here is the cost report receivable. So the unearned revenue from the grant and so forth is not yet here. I'm going to, in my time before next month, I'm going to post the adjustments for this and rework the last 6 months before I do April. So next month, the year's date will change somewhat and the balances on the balance sheet. All right, back to what I was talking about. Cash, always important, and as of March 31st, looking good and looking good, better than the previous year. Unfortunately, subsequent events, some of it's all right, but some of it is going to be a little bit stressful. We participate in a number of matching funds programs that require us to send money up, and we eventually get that back with a match. This year, so the transfers that would have been about $160,000 last year are going to be about $300,000 this year. And then we've also, just in the past 2 weeks, received about $300,000 worth of self-insurance health claims for employees. Now, eventually, we will get that back, but we have to provide the cash up front. So the cash is unfortunately at this point a little bit more of a concern than it's been in a while. Not through anything wrong per se, it's just due to things that were unanticipated and things that have changed from year to year. Net patient receivables, accounts receivable, this is another good sign. We're continuing to collect the bills faster than we have in the past. And I don't think the other assets need a whole lot of highlights. I would point out that if you look at total current assets to total current liabilities, both last year and this year, the assets are far better than the liabilities, and roughly $1.50 of assets per dollar of liabilities. I did notice the salaries and benefits payable changed a bit, and that is mostly due to employee health insurance, and whether we recognize it as a liability, possibly a liability with the wrong balance, a negative balance, or a debit balance, versus whether we move it to the income statement and recognize the expense. And this year, as of March, we had not received as much as we had the previous year. Obviously, that's kind of caught up with us big time, but that's what that is. That's just a matter of the timing of recognizing the expense. Looking at income, when you look at it, total gross revenue year to date, it's almost exactly the same. It's changing though for where it's coming from. The hospital is down for the month over the same month last year, and also year to date. But the clinics and the nursing home are both doing much better than the previous year, and it's kind of evening out. Unfortunately, the adjustments, mostly due to the amount we're actually getting paid on the claims, we're taking more in adjustments this year, and net patient revenue is almost exactly the same from year to year. For the month, I did note that March of 2026 was better than March of 2025, which is good. We haven't seen enough of that recently. As far as expenses, there's nothing I really want to point out. If we flip over to the budget, oh yes, I'm sorry, at the non-operating, the net indigent care support, that we did have a recoupment. That's one of the items I believe that Travis was talking about, but I'm going to need to verify that. Without that, then we are, basically it's basically a break-even month. We're at negative $50,000 for the month. That's a good month. Usually we have, we get to recognize our property taxes in the month it becomes payable, and so October usually is really good, and then we usually have a small loss almost every month after that. Overall, it's on pace. It's not what we were hoping for, but it's still, nothing to be upset or alarmed about as far as I can tell. And now flipping over the budget, we did, even with the recoupment in the indigent care support, we were better than we expected for the month. So we're catching up a little bit on the year to date. Any questions?
Nope, sounds good. I don't have anything. Anybody else?
Nope.
No? All right, we'll go to the last one, line item E, Chief Executive Officer's Report.
All right, so I'll start off with volume and access. It's just, I don't know really what's going on this year as far as inpatient, but I've heard this from everybody that their volumes are just down this year over year. Ours are not terrible year to year, 94 versus 103 last year, but 13 versus 20 in March. So still a little bit down. Our swing bed days were up, even though year over year we're still down on swing bed days. ER visits are up, but we're just not admitting as many people. There's a lot of reasons behind that, but once again, I think it's just primarily we're just not seeing as many sick patients. We're not transferring any more out or keeping any more. It's just not meeting admission criteria is the problem. So. Stonewall visits, Stonewall RHC visits are up year over year, 1774 versus 1648, even though for this month they were not not great. It was still red, so it's not a great month. Kent County has really picked up, and they've been doing much better. They had a slow front of the year, but the last couple of months it actually looked pretty good with them. Spur is still just down across the board. We did start, Dr. Gorman started going up there in March. I'm hoping that that's going to start swinging a lot more visits towards them. She's actually met with the judge. She's met with several of the community leaders, and I'm hoping that is going to help and it will make a difference. But it's hard to say. It's a little early right now to really talk about how much that's going to be a help. But I'm hopeful. RHC visits per hour, we were down month over month, or month to the benchmark, and year over year we're still a little bit better. But like I told you, I'm going to start pushing them much harder to see more patients. I have been talking to them about moving them to a mix between hourly pay and an RVU model. It's going to be a mix. It won't be a straight RVU, and I really want to get away from just an hourly model because I'm not paying them to see any more patients right now. They see one, okay. They see 20, okay. It's the same to them regardless. I want to give something to actually give them some reason to want to see more patients. Psychologically, I think it just helps all of us to always have a goal we need to be shooting for, and we get awarded for that goal. So I'm hoping that'll help, but we'll see how that moves forward. We're going to wait until after we get this EHR upgrade and get some of these things finished up. But this summer we'll probably be working on some of that. EMS is still doing good. Their runs are really good for the year. Actually April and this month have been a little bit slow, but year over year we're still doing great. Our times are actually okay. It's not far off. Days cash on hand, I'm still shooting for 60, but I'm happy with 21 over 8 every day of the week. So, and year over year, we're doing better. You saw the numbers that Lou gave. So I'm actually still happy with that. Our AR days are actually really good. As a matter of fact, I actually was really kind of surprised when they showed that earlier that they show a 31 or 32 as the AR days for last year. I think this year we're doing better than we were last year. And so I'm not real sure where that number came from that they pulled, but I'll have to go back and do a little research on that. Our net revenue was good in the month of March. Year over year, we're still a little bit behind, but we're doing okay right now. Had a great operating margin. I mean, negative 2.3 is fantastic for us. We try to shoot for better than negative 10%. Because as I showed you on the screen earlier, you're never going to, it's going to be really hard. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's going to be fantastic if we ever get to where we're above zero. That means that we're actually making money as a hospital and not just a welfare state. So that's always a good thing.
Yes.
Total salaries and wages, we are up, but our numbers are pretty close to the wages that we paid. I do think that overtime and a few other little pieces are feeding into that labor cost that's hurting us, and I think that I've got a plan to get that under control, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Agency use is still too high, but definitely is getting better. I mean, we were at 20%, 20+%, and then 18. I think 6.9 is about the lowest we've had all year long, so it's beginning to get better. FTEs, we have hired a few people. We do not have a whole lot of vacancies. I think there's 2 or 3 vacancies right now, and that's it for the entire district. And most of that is still dietary and maybe some a couple of positions for CNAs. But our overtime is still too high. 8.2 is just way too high. Just to give you something on that key quality, I do apologize. I thought that I got all that loaded down at the bottom. It wasn't until tonight that I realized it didn't get there, but I was in such a rush last week. I must not have saved it or something. I have no idea. But I will tell you on the key workforce issue, the number one thing is that overtime being too high. And the two departments that actually had the highest two numbers in the entire district, I have asked for a action plan from both of them. They are going to work on a plan of how to get that under control. I will say one of them is in the nursing home, but I know that Cindy is working on that. And I will say that they were the ones struggling also with the agency use. So Cindy's having to play a real balance act here between how much overtime do we give versus how much agency do we give, trying to make sure we're covering everything right now. So I'm trying to have a little bit of grace here as far as that, but I also want it to get under control.
So what is your timeline for that to be done?
I asked them to have everything done by Friday, so.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, not to fix the number, to have the action
have a
plan
plan.
to fix how we are going to fix that and get it under control. Schedules, the whole work, so we will get that under control. On the quality and compliance, really the only key quality compliance piece there that's an issue is the antibiotic stewardship. And I think that one's one that is going to be fixed when we get the upgrade, because I think there's some things missing in our indicators. It's not flowing across correctly, and I don't know what the issue is yet. But I think me and Katie have talked about it, and I think we've kind of got our idea of what the issue is, and we're going to really try to get that turned around and get it corrected, because Dr. Passman is usually very, very good about getting it on there, but for some reason, when it comes to these antibiotics, the indication somehow gets missed, and we can't figure out why it doesn't flow across properly. So, but we think we have an idea, so we're going to continue to work on that. That's something we've been looking at for nearly a year now, and we just can't seem to figure out what the problem is.
Okay.
Past that, on the other two key indicators, volume and financial, it all comes back to just volume. We just need volume. Volume will fix most of our financial issues if we can just keep the volume up. So, and the thing is next month you will see our cash is going to go in the tank again, but it's over things that we really can't help. And I will be talking to you guys in a few minutes about looking at getting a revolving credit line at the bank, just because these were situations, that $600,000 swing that we can't do anything about. It's just there. Most of that we'll get back.
Right.
But it doesn't help us. There's a gap.
Yeah.
We can't help it. It's just part of the gap that we've got to fill. And I hate to do it, but we should be able to pay most of this back in a fairly timely manner when we do have to get it and use it. But we can talk about that in a few minutes. I guess that's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Okay. Any questions for Michael? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the district reports?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion from Claire,
I'll second it.
and I have a second from Eddie.
Well, that was
Any-
nice.
Yeah. Any discussion? No? Do I have a second?
He did.
I'm sorry, we have a second. Everybody in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's
All
nice
right.
that you and they don't have to stare at each other.
I know, it's your turn.
All right, next on the agenda, we're gonna go down to line item 11, old business, item A, pharmacy construction update, cotton.
All right. So this all goes back to as they were talking about earlier, that $350,000. Oh crap! Now let's go in here and get back on. That $350,000. We've talked a lot about different pieces of it and what we're doing with this. We have done. It's basically with us getting ready to be able to take the pharmacy at some time in the future. We've already talked to Leanne. Leanne expects to retire in the next few years, and we're trying to basically put ourselves in a position to be able to do that. The other piece to this, moving to this 340B program and then having the retail pharmacy is we can actually, once we get this built, we can actually get medications to our own employees, which is going to be a huge money saver for us from the standpoint that we are now buying the medications. I mean, every medication that our employees buy, that's through the self-funded insurance. We're the ones who are buying those medications through Allied. This will allow us, in a lot of cases, to actually be able to purchase medications sometimes at 95 to 99% discount. And we pay for it, and then we submit a bill to the government, and then they send us the additional money on the thing. And there will be things such as GLP-1s, a lot of these cardiac meds, the diabetic medications, just different kinds of medications that we should be able to save a fortune on if we can get the 340B program along with this retail pharmacy that will handle that side of things. So that is what we're doing. We're going to be working on this, continuing. As a matter of fact, I will be doing the application for the 340B between July 1st and July 15th. And I don't think we'll have any problem this year. I have been working with RX Benefits, and I actually met a young lady in Chicago this week. She works for RX Preferred, and Chick actually took me to her and said, this is the person you need to talk to. She is the expert in all things. She's not just a PBM, a pharmacy benefits manager. She also is the one who puts together the applications and then gets them approved.
Wow.
So she told me basically just get with her as soon as we got back together or got back to our hospital, and we'll be talking to her in the near future. But so that brings me back. I've been trying to get this done to what we're actually doing, and I want to let you guys see this. And I'm gonna let Cody kind of talk his way through some of this because he's the one with the chicken scratches here.
Yeah, I don't have a pretty presentation. So do you want me to just start?
Just start talking about kind of what the idea is, and then I can flip back and forth because I've got both of them pulled up.
You got both of them pulled up?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it might make it easier. If y'all want to go ahead and turn to page 21 on your first packet of cotton, the one that says cotton. It has the floor plan listed on it.
Last page.
So what Michael was talking about, in doing all these things, we've done made a ton of changes to our existing hospital to make all this work. And unfortunately, trying to do construction in the hospital that you have to keep open 24/7 is a little challenging. So what we've done here is we're going to rearrange some things in the hospital. We're going to have to do this project in phases throughout this summer. This is that $350,000 grant that we have to use by August the 31st. So we're on a pretty tight deadline to make all this work. So basically the first thing that's going to have to be done, and I'm just going to walk through it. What you see here in this packet on page 21, that floor plan is what the final floor plan is going to kind of be, that layout of it. This is kind of what we currently have right now. So what's in purple or pink, purple, number 4 has to be done first. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to knock out this wall here between this office and this break room, put a doorway here, make this one big break room. We have to have it for while we do the other pieces of the construction, but then also our break room is just small enough. It's not big enough to handle everybody in the district. So that's phase 1, along with making ER, which we had it originally, we were going to make it into an ER2, but then we talked about it and we decided to make this into an ER lobby, and we discussed that, I think, a couple of months ago in the board meeting. So we're going to make that into the lobby. So once we complete those two pieces of the project, then we're going to move over to the green part, and this is where the retail pharmacy side will be. What we'll do is we'll knock out a wall there. We'll make this the retail pharmacy. We'll knock out this wall. Everything in the green is going to be redone. This will be the pharmacy's office. This will be the hospital med room. We're going to tear both this women's and this men's bathroom out, tear this wall out, make this an ADA compliant bathroom. It's not ADA compliant right now.
Okay.
So we're kind of killing a bunch of different, birds with one stone. We're going to get the pharmacy piece out of this, but then we're also going to get in compliance with all these issues that we currently are out of compliance on. So anyway, once that piece is done, we'll have to move people around, obviously. Then we'll move pharmacy into their new area. Then we'll do the part in blue. And we'll have to do this first. We're going to turn this into the new dietary room for the hospital. And then we're going to turn the old dietary room into the new soiled linen room. Once that's complete, then we'll move over to everything in pink. And everything in pink right here and right here. We're going to basically tear out all of these walls that I've marked out here in the X's. And we're going to make a big new nurse station, nurse area for them. It's just too small. It's just, there's a lot of wasted space right there. And then we'll put a doorway here. This will be the new nurses break room. And this is going to be just nursing supply storage. Right now we've got to keep a bunch of stuff in that last hospital room. Our help me out, ventilators and things like that. So we gain space back where we need it, where we currently are having to use it for something else. We get the pharmacy thing going that we need. And then we also get in compliance with making things ADA compliant, getting the break room where it needs to be, and then getting a new nurse station, new nurse area out of it. So that is what that final floor plan that you see is, what it's going to end up looking like basically. It's on page 21 there. I know that was a lot. Does anybody have any questions on that layout?
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
That ER lobby up there where the 2 is,
So
that's where the lobby at the front of the hospital is currently.
Yes.
Anyway,
And so we'll lose that because this is going to be, pharmacy.
Pharmacies.
And
So are we gonna have a lobby for people that are there with family for patients? Is there gonna be a
it'll
place?
still
It'll still be the lobby.
It'll still be a lot. It'll
Okay.
still be where people can sit in there. It's just that it's going to have
The pharmacy and stuff,
pharmacy.
it's gonna open to it and
Yeah.
multi-purpose.
multi-purpose lobby there.
Well, that's good. You can,
Very-
when you walk in the front door, there's the pharmacy.
Well,
Yes.
you'll walk in the front door, the pharmacy will sit right there, and then there'll be chairs set there so you can say, I'm here for this, and have a place to sit
Okay.
down. But this also gives you a place for families if they are in there in the hospital and they need to talk. There'll be a lobby where they will have some space. It won't be like it is today. It'll be much more just an open lobby to where multi-people can be in there.
Okay.
But then by having the emergency room area there in that blue where the ER2 is, see, we'll have chairs in there, a TV in there, so
That is very much
families
needed.
are not just standing in that
Yes.
ER waiting, or ER area really, just standing around watching everybody who walks in and out.
Yeah, that's been a big complaint.
It has been a
awesome.
complaint. So
Okay.
And this is going to get us a ton of real estate back for the nurses station because there's a lot of wasted space in there with all the little walls and that sold linen room right now. It's just a lot of space.
and see, right now we have egress issues. It's not wide enough, so we're going to slide that back, and we'll now be in compliance with that piece.
Okay.
The other piece is we won't have that carpet, so it won't be an infection control issue any longer. It'll actually, all of that will get, like he said, there's a ton of compliance pieces to this that we are going to fix and make right. And because we're not going through firewalls or anything like that, we won't lose any of our grandfathered stuff that gets us in compliance issues with CMS. So we should be in pretty good shape.
Very good.
So, yeah, and then you can go ahead and you can see there, I've got it here on the list. So this is what it will look like after we are finished. So you can see there's just going to be a whole lot more space. Not as much just wasted space. The other piece, like in the med room, in the hospital med room, we are working with a company, and I do have it in our stabilization grant, which has already been approved, and we will be getting that in the next couple of months. We're going to be getting Pyxis machines, and we'll have the automatic dispensing machines. They're actually, it's a different name, But you go up there, you type in the patient, pops out their medications. It makes our entire system a much more safe, much more compliant system when it comes to medication. And the thing is this and the new thing we are going to be doing completely with the grant money. Wow. The next piece of this is, and just because we're here, and I'm just going to talk about it really quickly, when we did the stuff for the roof to get it replaced, we had to do an asbestos survey.
Yes.
So we did that asbestos survey. We did find that there is some asbestos in the facility, which we knew there probably would be. We talked to the companies. We thought this asbestos abatement was going to be about $40,000. Well, actually, about $40,000 for the abatement and $12,000 for the consulting. We found out Wednesday.
Yes, it's been a very busy week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday, because they figured out, we got to make multiple trips and we're going to have multiple times there, and this is all out of town. That went from 40-something thousand, 50,000 to 150,000.
Oh my gracious.
So,
Do we have to remove the asbestos? Is it something that has to be done?
unfortunately, it is, because anything we do with the walls, it's all the floors, the tile floors underneath. If you take out any of those walls, the space between it becomes the problem.
Gotcha.
And then all of a sudden, that little tiny space is our big issue, but we have to spend the money. We can't really reverse course now. We're too late in this, or we'll be paying $350,000 back to the state for the grant.
Right.
And this was just a hiccup. But the nice thing is, I plan on going back. As a matter of fact, I've already got it built in the new grant, that I had enough money set there for ADA compliant stuff and some other things that I'm able to slide that
Into that.
Yeah.
So it won't cost us anything. It just takes a little away from that grant money that we had for other things. I'll just have to reallocate that back out.
Okay.
Now, we did get that survey paid for by the roofing claim that we still are working on, and they are going to pay for the removal of anything up on the roof itself. That and there is some. But so that part will be paid by the claim.
Good.
So you actually, what we did was we split this out. There's 3 different documents. One is this plan, one is the consulting on the asbestos, and then the other one's the abatement piece on that. And we set it up this way so that I could split this out to different grants as we needed to.
Okay.
Is there anybody in Abilene that does this? Is Dallas the closest place?
The removal company, I believe, is in Abilene. No, yes, the removal company is in Abilene. The consultants are out of Dallas, and that is the
And they're
closest.
the ones that's gonna charge us for so many trips.
Of course.
So the 40,000 went to 98, and then the 12 went to 29 ish, or actually we're more now. I don't know.
43 and
So it went from
78.
You don't have a
sorry,
choice. You have to do it.
yeah, we kind of stuck.
Yeah.
That's why they can charge.
Okay. So, because they're separated out, we're going to have to vote on them separately.
No, this is all cotton. It's just that I've got them on separate forms.
Yes.
Because I will split those bills out to different
Okay.
grants.
Okay.
But it's all the same project, so you can vote on it.
Vote on just the one.
Shouldn't be a problem. And we did put this out. I know that this is something Renee's brought up in the past. We did put it out for 2 full weeks. We got 1 bid on the whole project. That was it. None of the locals had any interest in doing something this big. So, and we had no other takers. So we followed all the rules and everything, so.
That's all we can do is put it out there.
That's all you can do. Do I have a motion for the pharmacy construction update with Cotton?
I'll make the motion to go forward with
To go
grant
forward
money
with that?
for it.
I have a motion from Renee. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Belinda. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on old business, Hillrom Nurse Call System upgrade and move.
I'm also gonna give this one to Cody.
So this runs into this project. Do you have the map of that one you can pull up on there?
Yeah.
So basically, the Hillrom, it's Baxter now, but this is the nurse call system, the code blues that are in the bathrooms and in the ERs and in all the patient rooms, all that stuff. So because of all this moving around and everything, and because we moved, well, not really because, but we moved the new IT room to a new location in the hospital when I got here 4 years ago and started all that project. This, and y'all approved the Picato one last time. This is the last piece that's in the old room. I've already got the new switch in the new room. This is just the running of the wires and putting of the end user devices where they need to be and getting it recertified with them because we have to get it recertified. So that's what this contract is for them to come out here to assist with the installation. Whenever they did this originally, we were still in the clinic. The clinic was still in the hospital. Now it's not, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all those devices are still in there. Well, now all those are offices.
Right.
So I don't really need all those devices there. I need them in other places. I need them in the ultrasound room, the new ultrasound room. I need them in the new outpatient room. They're not ideal in the ER. We just have one up against the wall. Really, they need to be by each bed in the ER, so the patient that's in the bed can actually hit it if there's not a nurse or somebody in there. So that's what this project is. It's just kind of, we're not really adding anything. We're just moving everything around, putting it into the new switch, updating it, getting it all recertified and calling it a day. But I've got to do this in phases too because I've got to do it as we make this, as we work on this construction this summer.
Second item back up, sorry.
It's not that big of a deal. I was just going to kind of give an idea. It's a pretty busy map. But. So basically, there's a lot going on here, but basically, pretty much everything over here, minus where the lab draw is and the restrooms, we're moving to the new ultrasound room, to the new outpatient room, adding where they correctly need to be in the ER here, temporarily moving them, demoing them out of where we're going to be tearing those walls out and moving them in different locations there. That's basically what we're doing. And then running everything to this new room right here versus from the old one right here.
Okay.
So that's basic. I know it's the price is a lot, but there is a lot of, there's a lot to this. So anyway, that's it. Unless you have a question.
Okay.
We have any grant money for it? All right. I like this grant money business.
Yes.
It's good to have. It's just a headache on the backside.
A lot of paperwork.
Yeah, the paperwork's the hard one, but we do have it.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the Hillrom Nurse Call System upgrade and move?
Make that motion.
I have a motion from Belinda. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Renee. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Line item 11C, policies review and approval, admin organizational chart, governance board oversight of quality and safety, district compliance, risk management, credentialing, 2026 income-based discount.
Oh, y'all gonna love me on this one. All right, so we'll just start off with the first one here. It's the easiest one to. It's just an updated. All right, so it's just an updated org chart. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically the same thing as it's been every other time. It's just like alternatives is no longer there. You'll see a few moving pieces, but I added back the speech therapy, the occupational therapy, the CODAs, made sure they were in there. So all of this is the way it is today. So it's just updated, and I needed an approval on it.
Okay, very good. So do I have an approval on updating the Stonewall County Hospital District organization structure and accountability chart?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Eddie. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Renee. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
I tell you what, because I did put these all into one, well, actually into two, we'll have to vote on the income-based discount, but nearly everything else I can do at one time.
All at
if you
once.
want.
Okay, that'll work.
All right, so this is something I have been trying to go back and do. It hasn't been updated in some while, or as far as I know ever. So I finally did get around to trying to build these over the last month, and I've gotten several of them done, but this is the board oversight for quality and safety. It basically says what we do in this meeting when we go over the quality measures and things like that. Really, there's nothing ton to talk about here. The responsibility of the board of directors to review quality and patient safety information, which you do. Monitor performance indicators such as the patient safety, quality, clinical quality, and infection control, and on and on. And those are the things that I bring to you on a monthly basis, and that is that's it really. There's no, it gives you the regulatory references, references so that you can go back and find the exact spot in the CMS, COPs that you can find where that is in the conditions of participation. So that's that one.
Okay.
Okay. The next one, I'm going to give you a different form here. Okay, so on this side, 1, 2, 3 on this side. So this is what our old policies, and I will show you, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it was done in 2004, it was revised in 16. I had down that I was going to accept this one again. But if you look at it on the screen there, or you look on your sheet, either way, you can see how everything's in caps. It's very, very difficult to follow. There's not a single employee in this district that will actually follow this because they'll never read it. And I actually was reading through this and realized there's a ton of things that we just needed to make some improvements to. So I rewrote it. And you will actually see here in this one, this is the one that I'm actually bringing to you for approval. District compliance program, it has the ethical conduct piece and healthcare law, which are both required. But it does talk about the purpose, what it is there for, the scope, it's for everybody in this district, the policy statement. It talks about what the components of the compliance program are. It gives right now it's the CEO will serve as the compliance officer. Otherwise, I can designate that out to somebody else, and it's designated by you to me. Most likely, I am going to be looking at giving the compliance program over to somebody, and my primary reason for doing it is I don't think that me as the CEO should be the compliance officer as well. I think that is a little bit of a conflict of interest, Fox watching the in-house kind of thing. So I will be designating that out to somebody to actually be the true compliance officer in the long run. I just need to figure out who that's going to be.
Who the lucky person's
Yeah, who that lucky person is. But it just talks about compliance committee, what we do in there. We will be meeting every quarter. It will be part of our co-oping meeting that we already do monthly. We'll just talk about anything that is a compliance issue, which could be fraud, waste, abuse, regulatory issues, corrective action issues, auditing, monitoring. There's a ton of different things that could go into the your oversight as well as the compliance officer's oversight into this program. But that is the entire program there. It does go in and talk about key compliance areas, and it talks about HIPAA, patient privacy, billing, coding compliance, Medicare, Medicaid requirements, fraud, waste, abuse, Stark law compliance, anti-kickback statutes, false claim acts, which are all of that healthcare law stuff that we have to follow. And we actually do a pretty good job watching that. As a matter of fact, you guys have heard me come in here and talk about contracts before.
Yes.
I pay real close attention to Stark law and anti-kickback stuff because that will get us in trouble in a huge hurry.
Yep.
We actually had a patient that came in this facility about 2 weeks ago. Everybody freaked out. We were all worried it was an EMTALA violation. It was not. It was just that it was kind of a strange how it all happened. They came up here, said, we want help. And then they said, we don't want help. No, we want help. No, we don't want help. And it was like, okay, you got to come in the building or you got to leave. You can't just stand there acting like you need help right now. They eventually did decide to go ahead and go to Abilene. We tried to get them to come in. We did everything we could. We documented that they just refused to actually be seen. So they left without being seen and what it came out. And the reason it even came up in the first place is the nurse actually documented as leaving against medical advice, but you can't do that unless you're actually admitted.
Got it.
So that was how it came up. But those are things that we would talk about in the compliance meeting. So that's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
It's nothing way out of what we already had. It's just a little bit more lined out than what it was. Okay. It's disconnected. Let's see if I need any more of these. Yeah, I do. But I can get on it in a second. Let me just pass this out. This one. So, 2 and 3. That one is the risk management program. It's one we already have, but I have updated it and brought it all up to speed to make sure that we met all of the rules for the entire district and the CMS conditions of participation. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. It just explains what we do in the risk management program. Our risk manager is Lavinda, so she looks over all of this and keeps it pretty much in shape. You guys can glance at it. It's not going to be overly telling you anything that we're doing out of the ordinary. It's something we were already doing. If you have questions, you can ask. And I will tell you, one of the reasons you guys are being hit with this, just so you guys know, the state has finally started to go out and do surveys again. And so they have not been doing a great job of that, but they have finally started. And so I wanted to make sure we're ahead of the game and get ahead of these policies and get all of our new policies out. Cody's going to be working on our we have a system called SEBA. He already has all of his cybersecurity and all the other policies that he needs. It's already built into this. All of these will be going into there, and all of the employees will get access. They'll start having this full access to all the policies.
Good. Will the board members have access?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You sure will. And it will not be the thing that we had before,
Thank
because
goodness.
that thing was just a pain.
Nightmare.
So we did make the decision to flip over to this, and it's going to be a much simpler system.
Good.
All right. This is credentialing, privileging, and evaluations, the OPP and FPPE. This just explains, it's basically, this is all based on our current medical staff bylaws. It talks about what it takes to be credentialed, what it takes to be privileged, what type of ongoing education or initial education they have to have in order to go to work for us. It does talk about that they will go through and be approved through the medical bylaws or medical staff committee, and then it'll come to the board, and then the board would approve that afterwards, just like we're already doing.
Yes.
But this gets Connie out of hot water with the state if they show up tomorrow. that she appreciates. And really, once again, all of these are very, very straightforward. I tried to keep them as simple and absolutely what we have to have with no extra anything in it. It basically follows the COPs. And I'm sorry I did not get these out quicker to you guys. Okay. If, and I do want to point this out to you guys all, if you want to approve these tonight so I can get them, start them circulated, you can take them back. I can bring this back as an old business item next month if you want to go back and look at these and review, and then we can go back and read if there was any questions or anything that you want to make corrections to. I'm happy to do so, but I honestly don't know that you're going to want to read through all of these.
And what you provided us is basically the same thing.
Much of what I gave to you, your profile will be the same.
Right. So I personally think this is going to be sufficient.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to vote on.
Well, no, we're not through yet.
Not yet. Really?
Really. This one, and do realize I told y'all before, we did have over 3,000 policies when I got here and have for the last 2 years. We are going to have 174, I think was the final number of total policies we will have. Everything else will be moving to procedures, standard operating procedures for the individual departments. This one is just the governing body. It's one that we've never had. I could not find one anywhere, but we have to have this, and this just basically says what we do as a board and as a leadership team.
Yes.
It's just a 2-pager. You kind of glance at it really quickly. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think it's a fairly straightforward what we do and what we're here for.
Yeah, there's nothing controversial at all in any of this.
No. No. So there's that one.
Okay.
This is medical record documentation. It just explains how I told you there was a ton of things. I have been busy, you guys. So this one is medication documentation. Basically what it just says is what kind of documentation we do, how we're going to do it, how quickly it needs to be done, that it needs to be turned over to medical records, and they are the keeper of the medical records at the end of the day. And that's pretty much it. It's just that you guys give them the designation of that.
Okay. Does this include the AI program that you told us about earlier? The speak and the documents?
No, it does not include that. I'm going to probably have to go back in and add that to it. That we have it once we actually get it.
Okay.
I will have to go in and add that.
Okay.
There's also, I'm probably going to have to do some more work. Dr. Passman and I talked this morning. He's been looking at a new system. Currently, we use Up to Date. It's extremely expensive. Do you remember the cost? Yeah, $12,000 for them to, and it's really him using it, and then a couple of the nurse practices will look at it, and that's where they go if they need to look. What medication should I be giving for this or for that, or what would be my plan of care for something? And he told me today that he actually has found a system. It is an AI system. It's built completely for physicians and for providers. They can actually take a picture of the lab values and things, send it in, and it'll basically tell them an exact line of treatment.
Wow.
It's very, very cool. And it's free.
Wow.
And he says right now he's been really impressed with what it gives him. He said he would love to see all the nurse practitioners move more towards that. It helps them guide their practice exactly what it should be with best practices.
That'll save time because I've had to put each value of the tests in individually. You take a picture?
You can take a picture of it and send it through. But the thing is right now, I've not looked at it. I will tell you guys this right up front. I've not looked at it. I will vet it and make sure that it is all completely on the up and up and that it actually meets AMA guidelines and all the other guidelines that we need to be following for CMS. It will not be rolled out until we actually have a chance to do that.
That is so cool.
So just wanted to point that out. But some of this stuff will change, but I want it out there
Yes.
and for people to start reading it. And if there's a problem, great. Tell me about it, I'll fix it. I'm perfectly fine with fixing anything. It's just, it's hard whenever they walk in and say, well, where is it? You don't have it. Well, then I have to fix that too.
Exactly.
And it ain't fun to fix those.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one. I said, no, it's second to the last one. This one is medication. Yeah, this is medication management. It basically is just our medication program, our pharmacy program, and how we actually get medications out.
Right.
But once again, this will be changing when we do get the 340B program, and I will have a retail side of it. But it just explains what our process is that we have to do medication reconciliation. There's several pieces in there around how we actually just do day-to-day business in the medication or the pharmacy world. So that's it. That's those, and you can vote on that one before you bring me the last one.
Do you even know what we're voting on?
Well,
I make a motion to
There you
go with all the policy reviews.
go.
Sounds
Okay.
good, I'll second.
I have a motion to go with all the policy reviews, and I have a second from Claire. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I know that was a pain. I'm sorry.
Well, you know,
We gotta go through that.
we're here, may as well get it done.
You've got to have it in case somebody walks through the
That's
door.
exactly right.
Well, they've started doing surveys for the hospitals that haven't had a survey since 2016. We haven't had one since 2019.
Yes.
Carrizo Springs and Mitchell County were hit last week. So I know they're working their way
They're
through.
sneaking up on you.
Yeah, so it will get here sooner than later. So we do need to make sure
Be
we're
as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Did you have anything else?
Nope.
Next in line is line item C, second bullet, 2026 income-based discount.
This is exactly the same as last year. I've just updated. We've already been using this really since February because we have to update on the last, so it has to say that where to go for your 2026 income, the federal poverty guidelines, that's what I'm trying to get at. But we kept all the numbers exactly the same. I will tell you guys, there has been some discussion, and I've had some people ask me about this. What just happened? We've had an uptick in the number of patients coming from Abilene and further off. And I don't know if it's because they've heard that we've got this and they're just trying to take advantage of it. I don't know what we need to do. I'm working on a process to maybe try to narrow it down to us and the surrounding counties.
Yes.
Or us and the counties that we're tied to right here. I don't know exactly how we need to do it. It's amazing the number of patients though that we do get out of this program, and we do bill their insurance. We just don't get any co-pays.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get the extra pay out of it. I don't know that it's really hurting us. As a matter of fact, I started to ask Travis, but you know, when he was talking about UC and dish money and how we were at the 60,000, it was all the money that we had to pay back, and he didn't think. Part of that, the reason it's come down like it has is because we actually did that program, and actually I did it with Travis helping me set this up. So he's the one who actually even recommended that we make 400% our guideline.
Okay.
And so it's helped us. I mean, it saved us $200,000 or $300,000 in UC payments this last year.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's something for us to pay attention to in the future. I think it's something maybe when we get to the first of the fiscal year, we probably need to discuss it a little bit further.
If you see there's a problem with it, but other than just, you're coming all this way.
Well, and the only reason I'm even bringing it to you guys is I've actually heard from some employees saying, well, it's not fair that you do this for everybody. It should just be for Stonewall County. We're the only ones paying taxes.
And that's a valid point.
And it is a valid point. And I
It is a valid
totally
point.
understand. It's the reason I'm bringing it to you guys to say, I haven't heard it in the community,
Yeah.
but if my employees have talked about it,
Right.
it wouldn't surprise me if you guys don't get to hear this at some point in the
Are
future.
the local residents being harmed by it?
No,
Okay.
it really doesn't hurt anything. It's just
Perception.
it's a perception. Other counties are taking advantage of the fact that we give this in our county. But then again, there's a lot of people in this county that think, oh, taxes are the only thing. If we took that, y'all have nothing. And that's not true either. I mean, we still make $14 million without that $1.6 million in taxes. So, I mean, yes, we need it to actually survive, as you saw in the slides tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But yet it's not but 10% of the
Right.
total of this total revenue that comes into this district. And so I can't say one way or the other. I just wanted you guys to understand
Yeah.
what the concern is. I don't think it's going to be a problem necessarily, but I do think it's something we need to talk about probably in the future.
So is this this the people that are coming from another county to see are they seeing our?
They're seeing our providers, they're coming
And
to our emergency room. They're coming in here and they qualify as basically indigent care at that point. And their counties are not doing anything for them.
I was fixing to ask that, are they not?
No,
They don't.
Fisher County does a good job. They actually have a hospital that the county takes care of their indigent care. We do the same thing. Kent County, Dickens County, Jones is really kind of a weird spot because they've got 3 hospital districts, and 2 of those hospitals no longer exist.
Right.
The other one's a rural emergency hospital that they can go to the emergency room or the clinic, but it doesn't do the other stuff for them. But we actually get people from Haskell, Knox County. We get them from all over.
Huh.
It's it's just one of those interesting things that I've seen, and like I said, because I've had employees bring it up, I wanted to bring it to you guys as just a thought for us to think about in the future. So,
Yeah, I think we probably should discuss some of the optics of it.
and it also gives you the ability to be able to say to somebody who's like, well, that's not right, we're just paying for the medical. Well, yes and no, really and truly. Most of the time we tie it off to bad debt and we get it back on cost report too. So it's not even a bad thing from that standpoint. And I don't know that we really need to change anything.
Yeah.
Just, it's like I said,
Just
it's more of an optics
FYI.
thing and just so you can speak to it when it's brought to you one of these days.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good.
All right.
Any other questions, thoughts? Well, I have a motion to accept the income-based discount program policy as it stands.
Make a motion.
I have a motion from Belinda. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Renee. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Line item 12, new business. A, recurring line of credit with First National Bank of Espelon.
So I will let you guys know, 2 weeks ago, I went down and talked to Lance at the bank. I asked him if he would talk to Ralph about setting us up with just an ongoing line of credit. That if we ever need the money, I can call 2 of the board members, you can go up there, we can pull that money out. So we're not having to try to bring it back to here and vote. But I do want at least 2 of the board members to be able to sign for it whenever it does come up. But it's just like the situation that Lou brought up earlier. We had $300,000 in IGTs hit this month, which we will get back, and we have $300,000 of benefits that we will get back, at least part of that money back. And they both hit this week. There's a good chance that I may have to go if we don't get anything back. I talked to Sabrina this morning. She's She's trying to get a couple of bills out, but we're doing a good job with AR. It's just been kind of a weird, slow kind of a month last month. And we just haven't had a lot of money coming in. We're about $180,000 behind on our taxes right now. We think we'll get it probably through the summer, but we're just a little bit further back because we just have people having money to pay taxes.
It's just a situation. It's coming. It's there. You just have this gap in time.
And that's it. And the thing is like I said, it would never be. I can't just go get the money. I have to call you guys to go out there and sign with me. 2 of you. So that's all I'm asking is that we have this and we're not having to ask for it or bring it back to the board. It's just there. If we ever need it, I call you, we'll do it. I'll report that we got it, and then we'll pay it off as quickly as possible.
You need to put on the agenda for next month to change the signature card at the hospital.
I do.
Okay, so do I have a motion to accept the recurring line of credit with the First National Bank of Aspenon?
I'll make that
I
motion.
have a motion from Claire. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Renee. That's hard for Renee, I
That
know.
was super.
Yeah.
I spend money. I gotta think twice. Like she's looking around like somebody else.
I was looking at her.
I could feel it.
But there is gaps in times that
There is.
you've got to have money till some more money comes that you like. You know you're going to get it.
Yep.
You don't know when you're going to
Talk
get
to
it.
the board, so
Yeah.
it's just being prepared.
It's just being ready.
Exactly. Okay, and because it's gonna be there, you can pay it back and then later on, if something happens, you can do it without having to go through this process again.
Yes, we
So I'm okay with that. Next on the agenda is line item 12. Is it everyone in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. See, we upset Renee so bad she forgot to tell me. Line item 12B, Department of Labor audit.
So this is really as much just for information so you understand. A couple of you know that we had a Department of Labor audit. It was brought on by an employee that they resigned, turned in their resignation, worked for a little bit, and then decided, well, it was wrong because we fired them, but she didn't resign or they didn't resign. And it was a really bizarre deal. Just one of them things that happen from time to time, but it did kick off an audit from both the state and then the feds. And this is what the Department of Labor, they came in 2 weeks ago. It's 2 weeks, right? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. And they talked to some employees. They looked at some data that we actually had. And really and truly, the only thing they found that we weren't doing right, and I will tell you, I'm not thrilled with Paylocity at this moment because this should have been fixed on their end. But it's easier if you look at this sheet so you can kind of understand. But basically, what happens is if we give somebody a base pay of, say, $20, and they work 44 hours during the week, 4 of those being overtime, but then they also get on-call pay. And I have down just an example of $3 an hour for 60 hours in a week. What we have to do and are supposed to do, but our system does not do this for us, is I'm supposed to take the money they made off of being on call, divide that out by the total worked hours. Then I have to multiply that times 4, which is the 4 hours of overtime, and that gives a new rate of what I've got to pay them. Basically, the $2.05 is the new rate. So you're actually paying them $22.05 times 1.5 to get them their actual overtime pay. It's a ridiculous system. The guy from the Department of Labor said, if if I go to 20 hospitals today, 20 hospitals will have to do the same thing back because the payroll systems won't. They're not even fixing this. They don't even realize this is the law. And so now I'm going to go back to Paylocity, and me and Connie are going to have to figure out how do we fix this. You're even supposed to, if they're getting differentials, you're supposed to refigure that back into their overtime pay. And so for the most part, this, as a matter of fact, I went in and did just this year, and it's going to cost us about, what was it, $8,300 in there what I came up with, about 83. But I've got to go back 2 years. I have a feeling by the time it's all said and done, I'll end up paying about $30,000 to $35,000 back to employees, a little at a time, including ex-employees that have left. I'm going to have to send them money to fix this. And there's not a thing in the world we can do about it but fix it. It's something I've never heard in my entire career that you're supposed to figure it this way. Like I said, he said if he went to 20 hospitals, there'd be 20 different places that have to fix it. So we have to fix it. I don't know an exact amount. They gave us 6 weeks to fix it or to actually come up with the numbers. Matter of fact, they're not going to fine us. They're not going to do anything. They're just saying, you come up with how to fix it and give it to us, and we're happy with that. As a matter of fact, we met with them last Tuesday. He seemed very happy with what we came up with, and he was very happy, I think. He's like, yeah, that looks exactly right. I'm glad you did that.
So,
Like, okay.
I don't know how to ask this question. How do we know that what he is telling you is correct?
That's my question.
If you have that many hospitals that are not in compliance because nobody knows about this rule, how do we know that he knows what he's talking about?
I'm planning on going back through our lawyer. Now, he did tell me, you're more welcome. We had our lawyer on the phone call with us when we first met, or not on the phone call, but she was on the screen when we first met with him. And I have not gone back and talked to her yet. I've just not had the time yet to talk to Claire. But I was going to run it by her just to make sure that it's all good. But he even said, you can run it by your lawyer. It's perfectly fine with me. They're going to charge you what they charge you, but I guarantee you I'm right. And there was 2 of them, the supervisor and him. They both said, this is the way the law is, and just nobody knows it. This is the way the law is. I'm just like, oh, good. I'm so glad that we were the ones who got to figure it out. So,
wow. Okay.
But yeah, it's a crazy deal. But I will be going back to the lawyers before we send this off.
Well, I mean, that's all you can do, diligence, and then we go, we give you permission to take care of it.
And it is part of why I'm going to be so much more stern about this whole overtime thing, because that's what kills us.
Yeah.
Because it only figures into their pay if they go into overtime. That's it.
We've got way too much overtime.
And we got way too much overtime.
And now we have to get nasty about it.
Yep.
Yes. The board told you have to be nasty
Yes,
about
ma'am.
it.
Thank you. So that's it. It's just for information. There's nothing to vote on until I know an exact amount, and then I'll have to come back because it will be over $10,000. It's just nothing I can do about it.
Okay. All right, well then we're going to move on to C, state and federal grants update.
So these are the grants that they talked about. You can see I already have 1, 4, and 6 marked. We also did get the financial stabilization grant. It's going to be $597,000 over the next 2 years.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, this one should be, the part 1 of the first one should be roughly $750,000 in grant money. It was 80 hospitals in the state. There was 77 of us that are county or county district owned and operated. And there was 3 that kind of were a strange designation, but the state went ahead and included them. But those 80 are going to get $60 million. Comes out to 750. But you heard Travis, they're not real sure that it's going to be, everybody's going to get the same amount. John Henderson seemed to think that was the way it was going to be. But I don't think they really know for sure how that's going to come out yet. I was going to ask Travis a little bit more about it, but we just didn't have time tonight. But I will figure that piece out. I honestly, until he said tonight that second part, I took it off because I didn't think we actually qualified, but it is a competitive, it's a second part of this. It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of people going after about $56 million. And if that's competitive, I mean, I've done really well in competitive bidding the last few years. I've learned to do the grants, and I think I've gotten pretty okay. So I feel like I'm in pretty good shape here. I think I can figure the whole thing out. It's what I'm trying to do is figure out how do I fit each one of these initiatives into one solid roadmap of how we're going to move forward.
Gotcha.
How does it make sense if we want to look at this in the future, how do we put all these pieces together to get there in 5 years? And I'm not sure what it looks like yet.
Yeah, because they haven't given you the rules.
And I just haven't, like I said, most of this has come out in the last week. And you can see the due date, the 22nd. And I've got 11 days to put that together. And then I get to turn around the 27th. I actually already have the financial stabilization piece together. The HB 18 is a separate grant. It is $25 million, but they're going to only give it in $2 million to $5 million grant sums. I'm looking at working with a couple of other hospitals in the area to try to do something very innovative to do it together.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, we were already brought up at both Torch and at the CHIC meeting last week because us, Anson, and Haskell have all gone together and we've done that CCM program as a collective group. We have one person that oversees all of them, and then each individual hospital has their own person doing CMS, and it seems to be working really well. A&M's already brought it up on a couple of different emails that's gone out about how we've already been working together and we've built a really good program.
Okay.
So I think it's actually a good way for us to maybe move forward and try to actually get something in a group versus individually. But if you could get $5 million apiece to do something very innovative, it would be a huge windfall. Now the other ones, I can't even tell you how much they are. Have no clue. Don't know yet. So it's going to be the wild, wild west for a little bit. So, and you can see on the back, this is the actual the federal, the big beautiful bill.
Okay.
This is what they came up with, and this is what the state came up with. So you can kind of put them together as to what the government was after, well, the feds were after, and what the state came up with. So, and really, unless there's something that somebody thinks you would like for me to look at and try to move forward with, this is more just for your knowledge to let you know. Also, if you look, there's a second page. This is the roadmap that I built for the stabilization grant. This is that 557,000, but you can see exactly what I've kind of broken it down as to the amounts and what it's going to go for, so the different milestones and everything. So, and the thing is this was another one of those. They put it out, and it was like a week later they wanted this information. It's just like, okay, well, let me see what I put together for you. So,
Okay.
okay, that's it. There's nothing to really vote
Yeah,
on.
there's nothing to vote on that one. Next is line item 12D, change to new dietary management group, HHS.
All right, so this is, well, I saved it for the last because I figured it might take some conversation and I wanted to ask some questions. And myself, Cody, Cindy, Dr. Passman, Heather Kaiser, we all met with HHS. Cody and I had already met with them once, but 2 weeks ago they came in and served us lunch. They actually talked about the proposal. They've been working on a proposal for us. In the last 6-8 months, we've had a lot of problems in dietary with turnover, food quality. We've had complaints. It's probably, actually, it is. It's the number one place we have complaints. As a matter of fact, it's the only place I have any complaints. I don't have any complaints in any other department but dietary. Cindy has worked really hard trying to help them and get them in shape. Cody has been over there and he's tried to help them. Mary Ellen has worked her tail trying to get people in the door. They come in and then they leave. We talked to this HHS company. They're a family-owned company. They're privately held, not a public company, but they are the number 2 largest company that does EVS, dietary, linen services. They do a lot of things, but they seem to be a really, really good company. We've looked around. This was actually the preferred vendor of our GPO, and so we even got GPO pricing. And we told them, we actually showed them what we spend today. They worked really, really hard. They can actually do this and bring in full dietary services, completely budget neutral. It won't cost us anything. It will be, well, it'll be the exact same cost it is today. They make everything fresh. They use nothing that's frozen, that kind of stuff. It's all, they've just found that if they make it fresh with fresh ingredients and no processed anything, that it actually is much, much cheaper on them. They use, their directors are all culinary graduates, so they're all chefs. So they would actually come in, they already have their CDM. They will run everything. They will buy the supplies. We will buy some of the supplies. We did that to offset the cost to make sure we could get it down low enough to make it truly budget neutral.
And the dietitian.
Yep, they actually will provide us a dietitian.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the day they came and they said that they would set up the entire system, it was built on a low carb, high protein, which is what Dr. Passman orders for everybody. And the food was fantastic. It really was very good. They will serve meals to our employees. They'll have a retail side that they can serve meals to our employees. They actually have a vending machine that they will load every day so the night crew can get fresh food out of the vending machine. Okay. I mean, it's just a neat system. They really do have a very neat system. Dr. Passman would take it yesterday if he could, but he was very, very, very positive about the whole thing. He loved the food. Actually, all of us ate the food. It was very, very good. So I think it's our best bet because we just can't. I mean, y'all see the Dairy Queen cannot stay open. We just can't find enough employees.
Where are they going to get employees to come here?
They will actually, they've already talked about it, that they actually have a program where they do pay better than we do, that they actually have an entire scholarship program that they will pay for their education if they choose to go on. They'll pay for culinary school, they'll pay for a lot of stuff. And they said, and if we run into problems where we have somebody call out, they'll actually bring somebody in from outside one of the other facilities and they'll send them here to work. They said it should not be a problem at all for them to find employees.
Where are they based out of?
They're out of Dripping Springs, but they have, what do they have? Well, I don't remember what the number was, like 800 different
They're all over.
facilities.
Okay.
The rep that came down, he was out of Austin.
Okay.
Or-
That's not bad.
Who around here uses them?
Most of it's all in the hill country. There's not a lot of them from around this area. They will bring on the employees we have today. They'll bring all of them on.
So the employees that we have now will be employees of them?
Of them.
Okay.
They will all, and most of them will probably get at least, they'll get equal or higher pay.
Okay.
And
training.
And training. And the thing is, the fact is, they actually bring in a chef. They bring in a chef that teaches them how to cook and how to do everything. And they have a very structured program.
Okay.
And they seem to be very, very competent in the way they want to do it. And it's something that I'm not a specialty when it comes to dietary. And I do think that in the long run, it's going to be a much easier process for us. I was the same way. I don't know how they're going to find their employees. I know they pay better than us a little bit. But past that, they just have a lot of other programs from the scholarships and other things that they do.
Do we house them?
No. We don't do anything. We don't, basically, it's a hands off. We turn it over to them. It's about a 60-day for them to get everything set up and running. And then we basically pay them every month for the services instead of us buying it and paying the employees. We just pay them one time. The thing is I couldn't poke any holes. I could sit there and say, well, how are you going to find any more employees? And they said it wouldn't be a problem.
Do we have a contract with them?
It would be this contract right there.
What is the contract length?
Say that again.
How long is the contract for?
It's a 3-year contract. Renews automatically for 1-year terms afterwards.
And if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the acute side, on the swing bed side, yes, you have the nursing home, the resident side, so you know they're 3 meals a day. But on the diet side of the swing bed program, it's very important to make sure that, you know, they have the appropriate meals that they need.
Yes.
Like Michael said, Pastor was very impressed, Heather was impressed with that. And then there's just their presentation of it. Like they had a platter thing all set up where it had like a QR code or a website, and they might do a review. So the accountability, and then they'll go around to the residents with the residents and each resident, and they'll say, okay, you know, did you like this, or how was this meal? I mean, the accountability side of it, how they hold themselves accountable to making sure that everybody is happy with the food.
Do they provide us with that data?
Yes, and then they meet all the regulatory guidelines on both the nursing home and the hospital side. They're very familiar with everything as far as that goes.
Is there an out if it
Yes.
does not work?
So on the termination, so we can terminate after 1 year with 90 days prior written notice, or this agreement may be canceled by either party if there's a material breach in this agreement. So if they can't provide employees, we can get out if that's what ends up happening. I mean,
And they're going to take the employees that we have now. And I think a lot of it is going to be that they have their system set in place on how they do their training, everybody's job duties. They're very, you know,
Well,
structured.
as long as their food quality stays good.
And that's the main thing.
Improves.
And
Not just
doesn't-
stays good.
Well, theirs stays at what, you know, that they don't come in here, get a contract and that
you're right.
work good for a month or two and then it
Yes.
starts slacking off.
He did say that, just so everybody knows, that it would not just be a day one, everything would change overnight. It is gonna be a working process, about 3 to 4 months for them to get everybody retrained, get the food from, you know, they're not gonna go from everything being processed one day to everything scratch made the next day. They're gonna work recipes in within the menu, the monthly menu.
Yeah.
So it'll be a slow transition at first, but you will see, I think, a significant improvement fairly quickly.
The thing is they have to do that in order to use up the supplies
Exactly.
we have. And then for 2, they're going to have to train the employees that are here now that are used to throwing something that's
Sandwich.
frozen into, or making a pimento cheese sandwich. Which,
I have been very unhappy with the dietary. I mean, on some levels, they do a great job. But on the day-to-day patient care, making sure that the patients who have special dietary needs, I have been very unhappy. And I'm glad to see the alternative. This holds a lot of promise. I do like the fact that there is accountability and that we can get out of the contract. At what cost?
there is no cost.
We just 90 days and say, sorry, you're not it. Okay. Well.
And the thing is I did look at potentially going with somebody like Luby's, but I've not heard the best things in the world. This one has been nothing but good. So.
Well, we're a hospital.
Yeah.
You know, and the first line of health is the food that you eat.
Yeah.
And it seems, I don't know why it's such a difficult concept for some people, but it's like primary important.
Yeah. Well, I've said it before, but as smart as the leadership team that I have here with Cindy and even Lisa, it was just one of those things that we just struggled on a day-to-day basis. We just seemed to make no progress in completing this. And I do think a lot of those, I don't blame the employees. What I do blame is us not being able to come up with a process that really works.
Yeah.
And this is bringing in a process and a system that actually works and has been proven. And I do think that I like the idea that they do have a barcode scan that you can scan it, or they will come around and actually they have somebody who'll take an order and they'll ask them, how is your food? They'll actually take so many people every meal and ask them about their food quality to try to make sure they stay ahead of the quality at all times.
They're all in uniform. The chefs are white. She came the full hat, the whole thing. I mean, it was just kind of cool. I mean, the presentation was just, and that's how how they presented to us was how they would present to the residents and staff and the patients in the hospital.
Outside people can come in and have a meal?
It's possible sometime down in the future, especially if we grow. Right now, we decided not to go down that road.
Okay.
We think it's better. And on top of that, you step on people's toes.
Yes, I understand. But the staff will be
able to buy their meals through this.
okay.
But they've been, well, no, they haven't.
They did for a
They've
while.
had for a while,
Yeah, they did for a
yeah.
while. Okay.
As a matter of fact, somewhere down the road, I'm probably going to talk to you guys if we get some of this money coming in about paying for all the employees' foods every day as part of the benefits. We'll see how
Talk
that
about
goes.
it. We can talk about it for sure. Okay, do I have a motion to change to the new dietary management group, HHS?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Eddie. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second.
That's my job tonight.
Stick your neck out.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. I think that's gonna be good. I'm excited about this. I think this is gonna be.
Sounds like you're putting a professional in charge of it.
Exactly.
Somebody that's focused on just that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my thought. As a matter of fact, I would love for you guys to come up and have a meal. They will be serving us meals in this meeting moving forward whenever they get here. And you guys will see that. If it's good, it's good. If it's not. And I would say that I do think a lot of Lisa, and I think she's really worked her tail off to do it. She's struggled a lot. She's had a lot of health issues, and
She has a lot on her plate.
she does have a lot on her plate. And this is nothing against her in any way. I just think that she was put in basically a position that we couldn't support her like we really needed to, and I don't know how to go about doing it any different.
Well, maybe this is her way of getting what she needs to be the best that she can in what her profession is. So I think that's great. All right. Line item 13, next meeting is June 8th, 2026. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Can I bring something up under the new business?
What?
Can I bring up something under new business? I know we haven't been here very long.
Yeah, but not if it's not on the agenda.
Okay, very good.
But ask for it and we'll put it on next month's agenda.
Well, I'd like to talk to you about telehealth.
Okay, we have to do that at another time.
Okay.
But thank you.
I can actually, we signed the contract for telehealth, but I can bring it to the next meeting. as
Okay, good. And don't forget the signature card.
I've already got it down.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Unless you want me to go over some more policies.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a motion from Renee. Do I have a second? I have a second from Belinda.
She's gonna second it too.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.